Welcome, everybody, to the CHGO Clubhouse Podcast. Hey, we didn't lose. Good week. Good week. We're undefeated. Well, I don't think you really say you're undefeated or winning streak. Sorry, I don't think you really say you're on a winning streak 1-0. But, let's get one more and then we'll start feeling better. I know T-Nick's going to be joining us a little bit later. I know he had to go back to the beach over in California to get a little bit of suntan. I guess he's just sick and tired of the Chicago weather as well. And JB's going to be a little bit late as well. He will be here, though. Don't worry. Statman will be here. And Fowle's still absent for a little while he's recovering from that nasty train accident that went down in Chicago not that long ago that he was on. So some scary stuff, but he is doing okay. He will be back soon as well. So, hey, and there's a lot to talk about, even though there wasn't a Bear game on, because there's a lot of news with the coaching staff, a lot of names getting brought up with the coaching staff, a lot of interesting names, but we all know Chicago will keep your hopes up and then go hire Matt Nagy's biological cousin to coach us next year for all the hell we know. So let's hit it.
You are now rocking with the CHGO Clubhouse Podcast, where they think they know everything, but honestly, they don't know shit.
These summer league games and they tell you about these new up-and-coming coaches.
I think we should get rid of every motherfucking owner in Chicago.
Enzo and Caruso, both when they are on the court, are like your defensive generals.
But they need to get that strong safety who's not scared to hit somebody.
They really don't know shit.
Like I said, let's get right to it. I know T-Nick did just surprise us on here right now, so it's going to be a very odd thing that the quarterback for today, the real quarterback, is going to introduce, the backup. Let's bring in good old T-Nick.
You meant the backup is good.
Is that what it is? I'm just filling in as the backup. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So it's Bagent and Fields. I'll take a Bagent.
What's up, Tank?
What's up, man? How's that California weather treating you?
Man, I came out here for a little break, and the weather is dope as usual. It's like 70 degrees. It's beautiful outside, but of course it's getting darker sooner.
Yeah, that's true. It gets dark here at like 5 o'clock now, though. So.
Yeah, shit, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I do get out of work at 4 o'clock, and it is already getting dark.
It's dark over there real early. So, it gets dark over here early, but the weather's still beautiful until the sun goes down. Then it starts to get cold outside.
Yeah, that'll do it right there.
But yeah, man, so these Bears, you said it. At least we did not lose Sunday. Thank God. Because my nails are already down to the damn cuticles.
Mine are too.
I can't bite them anymore.
I don't know if it's this weather or this sinuses and all that allergy type shit, but man, this team gives you a damn headache.
Oh my God, man. You are not kidding there.
Oh.
So now the big thing is Eberflus gonna get fired at the end of the season? We don't know. We don't know. I mean, we're hearing all kinds of shit. Ryan Poles, I don't know if he's being a robot or I don't know if this is real feelings, but he says Eberflus ain't going nowhere. But
I don't think he really said that, but the way he phrased it, it made it sound like
robotic.
Yeah, robotic. That
somebody else
is saying is like, don't leak that shit.
And if you want to keep your job, Ryan Poles, you're gonna say what the fuck we want you to say.
Absolutely.
So, but nevertheless, Lou Getsy must go.
That's a given. Like that is a given. If you decide to keep Eberflus, which I'm not really for that either, but there is no possible way that you can keep Getsy. No possible way.
No, Getsy must go.
Yeah.
The offensive play calling is terrible at best.
17 screen passes, baby. 17 screen passes.
Bring people to death. Oh,
three wide receiver screen passes and back-to-back plays. It's just like, what the hell are you doing?
It's ridiculous.
While we're talking, let's bring in our other guy, too. I know he's filling in for Foul while Foul's recovering. So he's the big highlight man. He does his shows on, should be Friday nights. We're hoping it's still going to be Friday nights. It might be Wednesday nights now. We're still trying to scoop that out, but let's bring him in as Easy.
No, we're trying to get Wednesday nights, not Friday nights.
Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like the
Godfather. All days, right? All the same thing. We created it. We made it up. I want to say, in regard, what up, Bullets? In regard to the bye week and whether or not we won, we did partially win because Tampa Bay beat Carolina, and that is good. We want to get that number one pick.
That is true. Very good.
Regardless of what we do with that number one pick, it is very important to have that number one pick. Whether that means we're going to use it or we're going to trade back.
Once we get JB on, we'll really break into that number one pick, man.
Yeah, because I'm very much in the minority with what I want to do with it. But also, Arizona Cardinals, good job by them getting that win.
Boys. Way to win.
Because that, gives us a little buffer space. Could have seen more from New England. I'm ready for New England to get a win. I spent my whole childhood just rooting for New England to lose. I wanted a new team in the AFC, anyone but New England. And now I'm just so desperate for them to win, and they won't do it. But they have a chance on Thursday night against the Mitch Trubisky-led Pittsburgh Steelers. So hopefully we
Mitch!
That sounded crazy, didn't it?
Mitch back in the driver's seat.
Led Steelers. That sounds crazy.
They'll still be in the game because they have a great coach.
Look, if Mitch Trubisky loses and the Patriots win, we owe Mitch Trubisky a thank you card.
Yeah,
I kind of want the Patriots to lose.
No, we want them to win.
I'm sorry, I want them to win. What the fuck am I thinking? Yes, I want them to win. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Yeah, just because we want as much buffer space between Carolina and the next two teams, that's kind of what we're going for.
Because New England, if anything, is I seriously think that they're in the lines to get a quarterback. I know Belichick doesn't like picking quarterbacks that early. That's very well known. But we are in a different generation.
Miss Sandra, yeah, and I'm kind of with you on. Look, and again, I want New England to win because I want them to bury Carolina, but I'm not too concerned about Carolina winning. Because
Carolina's bad. They're so bad.
So bad.
Oh, God. That's so funny, man. That is hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, it's a classic. It's a classic.
So who got
I'm with you, Dr. Truth. I understand being conflicted rooting for the Patriots. But, hey, it's about – I have nothing against Carolina. On a personal level, but I want them to lose for our draft pick. Yeah. That's really what it's about.
If you don't, then you're an idiot, and you're not a Bears fan. You want them to lose right now.
Or you're just a very confused person.
So who we got on the podcast tonight, Frank?
I sent him the invite. I'm hoping he's going to be on soon.
So I'm
trying to make my
Brandon McGowan, right?
Sorry. Former Bears safety Brandon McGowan. Great story of his. He went to the University of Maine. Wasn't really too well known there. Like he was a walk-on with the Bears, and he just became a freaking bullet. Like that guy would light your ass up.
Yeah,
big hitter, and that's always a great storyline when you go undrafted like that.
Yeah,
man. He was a tough guy.
Yeah,
got some fun highlights of his for sure.
Well, let's do that after he gets in, so he can get a kick out of him too. But the highlights are always good, man. Easy does a great job with the highlights.
The one thing he does well, I'm so proud.
Easy
of
does it. Easy does it.
Oh man, we always say we don't know shit, but Easy knows a lot of shit, man. But
he knows a lot of
sometimes he acts like he don't know shit, but he knows a lot of shit.
I know a few things every now and then, but
every now and then.
Oh, it is. I'm excited for this game this weekend. I will say, I as much as the bye week was refreshing, I guess, but like I'm ready to see my Bears in action. I'm ready to see some football.
Against Detroit?
Yeah, I'm not happy about it being Detroit, though.
Yeah, Detroit's been playing some good football, man.
Yeah, but Detroit, they just went on the road and played a very intense game against the Saints. And yes, they won, but they let the Saints come back. I think they're going to be – I don't want to say they're going to be tired, but they might be a little bit down. I could see where they might be a little more lethargic than they would want to be. Coming into Chicago, might be cold. I give the Bears an outside shot at winning this game. Especially with how the defense is playing.
It's Sundays, man. It's football Sundays. Anybody can win a game.
Possible.
I expect them to win? Absolutely not. I don't.
Let's guess the money line. What do you think the money line is?
I think Eberflus I think Getsy is going to develop a system like he's playing Pop Warner football against the little Giants, and he's just not going to fucking know what to do. The guy is just as clueless as they come. And watching I always love watching other podcasts and other sports shows and everything like that to hear their insight on it. And everyone was saying, it was just like, we understand why Getsy was running screens because, the Vikings blitz, I think 67% of the time. That's insane. 60. And then the second place team is 31% and they blitz 67%. But then when you're doing that, you run screens, yes, but then every single one of them says, but it's not just screens that you can run, people. You can run quick hits. You can run screens. You can run draws. I didn't see too many draws in the game either.
All I know is I watched that horrible, terribly officiated Packers-Chiefs game Sunday night, and I got a lot of beef about that, but I noticed what the Packers were doing is they really trust Jordan Love to sling it. They were letting him throw it downfield, make some plays.
Well, a lot of his plays, though, a lot of his throws that he was connecting on.
Yep.
Something we don't freaking call.
Which is weird because don't they run the same shit? Getsy in Green Bay? I never understood it. Never understood that because it's one of those things where Getsy came from Green Bay. I thought they kind of ran the same shit that the Bears would be doing over here, but evidently not. They prefer to run, quick hitches. I really wish Getsy could tune in. He's got a lot to learn. He's definitely got a lot to learn. What do you think the money line is without looking it up for this game on Sunday? Detroit at Chicago.
Our Bears defense is playing pretty well lately. So, that's one positive thing. So I'm going to say money line is going to be over under, what do you think? Maybe 26?
Well, over under is it's over under 40.5. For that makes sense, right? 23-17 is what they're thinking.
40. I don't know if I'm giving that. I'm
taking probably, the under. I don't know, depending on the weather. I'd take the over. Last year they scored a lot, but it's currently I don't know, is it 4.5, Jeremy? I don't think that's what it is. It's Detroit -3.
They only gave 3, huh?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Wow. I would have at least given 6. I don't know if
I would have guessed 6. I definitely would have guessed 6 or 5 even, but yeah, no, they're only giving 3. And I guess it's because Bears coming off a bye, defense playing well, Detroit a little tired after an emotional win, where by the way, that they had some really cool plays. Like that Jameson Williams. That's someone that the Bears are definitely going to have to look out for this coming week.
Yeah.
He and that whole offense could be lethal when they want to be. But yeah, just excited. As long as if they do take a lead, they're able to never give it back, unlike the last time these two teams played.
They've given back a lot of leads.
Yeah, that's kind of what they do.
Our defense, as great as they played the last game that we played, they did give up the lead. late in that game. But I mean, I will credit this though, regardless. After that, Justin Fields fumbled the ball. All right, very bad fumble. Can't do that. But then
Absolutely.
our defense went right back out on the field and gave it a 3 and out.
Yep.
So I mean, you redeem yourself when you do something like that.
You absolutely do. And, and again, this is something I talked about last time, but like Bryce Young and the Panthers are not good, and Josh Dobbs and the Vikings are very hit and miss, but mostly they have not been good. And, like the Bears defense they've been playing well, but against usually pretty bad offenses. But you got to be able to stop the bad offenses first. Like that's the key. And again, like they did very well against Jared Goff and company last time they played. And, as long as they're covering guys and, getting the pressure, I think, it already looks like Montez Sweat is paying off.
I'm not worried about coverage because our secondary, I know St. Brown is not something to mess with. I will 100% agree with that. But I love our secondary. If we can stay healthy, I love our secondary.
Crazy Ace with a interesting, little nerd nugget. Since 2003, the Bears are 9-14 after a bye.
That's actually a pretty good record, as sad as it says. From what we've been seeing with the Bears, that's not a bad record.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
I guess he said since 2003. Okay, we were actually good.
I guess that makes sense because we've been pretty bad since then.
Yeah, okay. Now I don't feel as good.
It's pretty weak. Yeah, it's gonna should be a fun game. Should be very cool. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on with the rest of the NFL. The Bears are, still alive for the playoffs, but not by much. Cole Kmet recently said, we're in playoff mode, which is something that I like to hear.
Playoffs?
Playoffs? You kidding me?
That is a perfect.
I know it's very unlikely right now that the Bears actually do anything and get into the playoffs, but that's what you want to hear. You want to hear Cole Kmet, and you want to hear like these veteran leaders, especially the guys who are getting paid, talking like that. Like playing to win, planning to win. Let's see. Crooked Commish has something to say. To me, it's crazy to see how well the Bengals backup QB played. And he threw nothing but short passes. JF is a better quarterback, but struggling to get 20 points.
All right. So, Crooked Commish, I'm going to answer that for you right here, too.
Yeah.
More than 50% of his passes were freaking slants again.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I meant to watch the game, but I just completely PTFO'd.
Easy, let me cut you off for 2 seconds because our guy's in here. The stat man is in the house. Let's bring him on, JB.
Hey, what up, fellas?
What up, bud? How you doing, man?
How's it going, JB?
Shoot, doing good. I, just came back from the game. We doing something the Bears ain't doing. That's winning.
Right?
Oh, right.
Varsity University of Chicago Woodlawn, varsity 3-0, JV 2-0.
Amazing. That's awesome.
Yep. They should take notes. Does that coach want to coach the Bears?
It's me.
Oh, you want to coach the Bears?
We love that.
Or the Bulls. You can go coach the Bulls then.
Maybe I meant to ask you this. Did you play ball? Did you play football?
I did play a little football. I just cut my teeth more with basketball. But no, I did play a little football. And then I,
it's probably smart.
Played a little semi-pro, won a little championship on that level, and then to this day I still play flag. But
a little championship is a championship, so that's pretty cool. A ring's a ring, even though you might not.
I'm modest, man. I'm modest. I'm humble.
Yeah.
But hey, good to see you guys. I know again I'm late, but hey, I got to sacrifice what I got to do to help these kids. So
absolutely, dude.
Somebody got to do it. Just to catch up real quick, what part of the segment are we on? Because one thing we didn't do as Bears fans, we didn't cry about losing this weekend. So
yeah, we're pretty much breaking down the rest of the NFL right now, how we're still holding. Is it still 1-4? Or did we push to 5 now, I think?
No, we're at 5 because
we didn't play and somebody else had an extra loss is the problem.
It was the Patriots. Arizona won and the Patriots lost. The Patriots
we were thinking Arizona.
Right, but the Arizona beat Pittsburgh, right?
Arizona beat Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, right.
Mitchell Trubisky.
And because Kenny Pickett got hurt, then Mitch came in.
It's sad, man. A lot of quarterbacks have been getting hurt.
To be fair,
lost to.
To be fair, Pickett, the offense was not moving well with Pickett or Trubisky in at quarterback. So They got a lot to work on in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And then we got Thursday night. Pittsburgh plays New England, and we got to root for New England.
Right, so we can move up.
Or really just
New England only has 2 wins, right?
Yeah, but it's all for me. It's about getting buffer space for Carolina right now. Like I want Carolina to just get buried because, and this is something I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about. Like, yes, obviously having a top 10 pick is super important, but at the same time, given that Carolina should give us the number 1 overall pick, I don't want to see the Bears lose too many games, even if it means that our second pick becomes worse. Because one, according to y'all want to trade out of the number 1 pick anyway. So
we don't. We'll talk. I mean, we'll keep going with this. We do got to break that down. We do got to.
By the way, JB, your mom says congratulations on winning tonight. So thank you, Miss Sandra, Miss Bynum home. And secondly, I want to say, I want winning culture to be kind of established. Like the kind of they're encroaching on a formula for winning, which is play good defense and
this is the thing though, Easy. And as much as I understand where you're going with this, we're not going anywhere if we win out this year.
No,
we're not going anywhere.
No.
All right. So you're still building for the future. And if it's one thing that I also heard from a lot of these sports hosts and everything like that throughout all day yesterday and all day today, saying it was like the Bears are not there yet. They're starting to get very nice pieces, but they are not there yet. So if they pull out the number 1 and the number 3 pick in the draft, that is a win as opposed to the number 1 and the number 7 pick. In my opinion, I would still like them to. I never want the Bears to lose. So let me just break that down clearly.
I still think it's
right now. I want
the crapshoot though.
I want the best draft picks possible at specific positions. That's what I want.
Go ahead, JB.
Here's the thing with that, because you guys just unpacked a lot. Plus, I'm looking at the chat, and there's one comment I want to address real quick at 8:22. But when we say the best draft position available, one thing we have is the luxury that the Lions had last year. The Lions won out, 1 game away from making to the playoffs, and they had the luxury of having 2 picks, 2 first-round picks. Yep. So they were able to address some needs. The problem with us is we have the number 1 pick, and then we turn around and we may have a top 5 pick at that. That's where you say, do we put the cart before the horse? Because we all know, hey, if you reset top to bottom, that's putting us at another year where guess what? We're not going to be good next year. We might have to push it back to the next year, because then you got to give the rookie time to develop. You got to get the right personnel behind the rookie. In my opinion right now, if you lose, but you play well, there's hope for the future, and you get the best draft position possible.
Bingo.
That's what I want.
That's what I want to.
I understand that. And look, I want you to I understand the value of losing in this case, and obviously never rooting against the Bears, but you got to take the little victories, which is you could make your team better that way. I still think, and this is just kind of my logic, is that the draft is always too much of a crapshoot to be able to just definitively say that the number 6 pick is so much better than the number 11 pick. Because look, like for example, those Lions, they win that last game against Green Bay. They have 2 first-round picks, and they take Jahmyr Gibbs, who's been really good for them when he's been healthy. And then they got that linebacker. Is his name Campbell?
Jack Campbell.
Jack Campbell. Yeah, they get that linebacker from Iowa. And so
that's what they had on their draft board. So they got,
and the Lions weren't as far away as we were.
So let me put you like this.
Well, look, but are they though? Because look, remember the Lions started off last year so badly, just like us. Why can't the Bears, just kind of start trending in that direction?
And that's also going to lead into the issue of what you're saying, though, Easy, is if we keep winning games, this coaching staff is staying.
Possibly, yes.
All right, that's the problem here.
I don't see
this coaching staff should not freaking be here.
Is that a problem or is that progress?
I don't want them here.
No, that's a problem.
But I mean, if they're learning to win, isn't that kind of what
they're still stupid as shit?
So let me ask you this, Easy. Let me ask you this. We beat the Vikings. We won. Was that a good game that we won, or did we just win?
Well, we had more points than they did at the end of the game. So
I
yes,
said, was that a good game that we won?
Defensively, we had a good game. Defensively.
I think it was a very good game that we won.
So was there any progress?
Yes, I think that the defense has been showing progress. And that's why I'm saying, like,
it's two sides of the – actually, it's three sides of the ball.
Getsy is an idiot, right? Like, I think we all agree on that. I don't think Eberflus is quite as dumb as y'all think he is. I think there's a lot missing about Eberflus and a lot of things that JB actually pointed out to me. Like, I think I want to see him advocate more for his players. Like, when Fields gets hit late, I want to see him losing his shit. Like, I want to see him getting mad. That being said, I think he calls a really good defensive game. He's shown – now that he's got some guys who can get pressure,
of a defensive game.
He's called a lot better.
He's called good games. He's called pretty good games.
But here's
since the Chargers debacle, he's called pretty good games.
Here's the thing, though. Put things in perspective as a whole, not as a singularity. Has the defense played improved football? Yes.
Hands down.
Has the team played improved and inspired football? No. They haven't.
Well, and I will say this defensively, and I don't care if I'm not giving credit to this for fucking Eberflus. Montez Sweat has helped turn around this defense.
Absolutely. There's no question about it.
Even if he's not sacking the quarterback, they know where he is, and they are game planning for him. And that is causing our secondary to jump a little bit more and get better.
There is one thing that I noticed, and again, this is not like an X's and O's. I'm not an X's and O's wizard, as I always say. But Eberflus does like to call that one play where he has one of the defensive ends drop in coverage, and usually he times that really well. And, it just seems like all the twists up front are working, and, like they're putting Sweat in situations where he could have his one-on-one matchups, and it just feels like the quarterback has been getting under pressure, and that's something I've been wanting to see for so long. And that's why I'm saying, okay, maybe we might be onto something. And I'm saying, look, if we end up, we got the Lions, right? We got the Lions this week. If the Bears find a way to beat the Lions, and they're 5-8,
Dr. Truth, bringing in the truth. I did it.
It's sweat, right?
I did it.
Like I'm sweating sweat gland.
I know, but I always say
find a way to beat the Lions
in rhythm this time.
If the Bears find a way to beat the Detroit Lions, and then you got the Browns with Flacco, who played pretty well, but he's Joe Flacco, and you got a couple, mediocre opponents in Atlanta and Arizona, you win. Let's say they win 3 of their next 4 games. Like, I don't understand how you could justify firing the coaching staff, or at least firing Eberflus. Getsy's got to go. I think that we all know Getsy's got to go, but I don't see how you could justify firing Eberflus if the Bears are to win a few games.
Let me ask you this then. Say out of those 3 to 4 wins, we're scoring 30 points a game. Justin Fields is running for 150 yards, throwing for 150 yards. Are you keeping Getsy?
No.
Good.
Because
if you do, that might actually
usually when Justin runs, it's because hell breaks loose. Obviously there are some design plays, but usually, I feel like Justin's best rushing plays have been him improvising and not Getsy, drawing something up for him. Yeah. There's exceptions, but in general, his best highlight reel plays are him doing crazy shit.
What you're saying is Justin's success is based on his ability in spite of what Getsy's calling, not just because Getsy called a good play here or there. That's not what's really going on, because here's the thing, and listen to me when I say this. We are notorious for trying to be the smartest guys in the room.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
Meaning the Bears organization.
The Bears organization. We don't make the pick that every other team makes that makes them great for years to come. We make the pick nobody scouted him the way we did. Yeah, there might be a reason why that happened. Okay? 2, if you look at Luke Getsy and the way that he's calling defense, right? Go back 2 games ago when he had the press conference, and after that, they asked, why hasn't Montez Sweat, been on the field much? And his press conference was
you mean Eberflus, but I got you.
I'm sorry, Eberflus. His press conference was something to the tune of, well, he just got here, and we don't know if he knows this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. Then the next game,
he was fucking quarterback.
Here's the point. The point. Fourth quarter, he wasn't in the game. Why? Winnable game. He got a call. Ring, ring. Hey, man, guess what? It's 2 games now. Dude ain't even on the field 60% of the time, and we just paid him $98 million. Put him on the damn field. Click. So let's not make it seem like Eberflus made some great revelation with putting Montez Sweat, because by his standpoint, we got to rotate. We got to rotate. We got to rotate. I dare you to make Bruce Smith sit.
It really could have been this guy's face too.
Absolutely.
That face might have been able to say, he's like, you better put that motherfucker in the game.
Absolutely.
But look, no, JB, I agree with you, and I still.
And he's not a good head coach. He's a above average defensive coordinator when he's got pieces. He's not a true head coach. He's not a true leader of men.
Look, I agree with you on the front about, why are you not playing Sweat in the fourth quarter? That seems like a no-brainer. That being said, where I'm in, I don't even want to say disagreement, because I'm just trying to understand like the Bears' perspective, and Kevin, kind of the challenge that Kevin Warren faces going into this offseason, which is, if the Bears do manage to win some games, I'll be delighted. I want to see the Bears win. I'm not promised tomorrow. Like I want to see, like I'm in the moment. I want to see my team get as many wins. I want to be able to look back on highlights of the Bears winning football games. That being said,
seen that. Go to the Wanstead years, 9-7, 7-9. We've seen that movie over and over again. I don't need a remake. I don't need a reboot.
Sure. But I that's why I'm saying, but the difference is this time is the Bears, no matter what, are in position to really get better next season because they have that number one pick.
Easy.
They're going to have the number one overall pick. Look, if this was a different year and the Bears were not guaranteed the number one pick, I'd be 100% with you guys. But this year, because we are guaranteed to have the number one pick, which teams are going to want, by the way, if the Bears want to trade back, like they're going to be able to get a haul for it similar to the one they got from Carolina last year. Why not?
Listen, and please listen to the voice of reason.
Oh, I'm absolutely listening.
The one thing that you don't want is you do not want this team to win in a particular way where there's a reasonable argument for this whole coaching staff to stay. Remember, we still don't have a defensive coordinator currently.
Or a running backs coach.
I wish Eberflus could take a demotion.
So check it out. In football, we've seen very good coaches get their jobs taken away right here in our town at 10-6. The game before the game they lost, had Levy kicked that field goal and we went for it and beat the Vikings, we'd have been 11-5 and been in the playoffs. But instead, we lost 10-6. They fired him. You know what other coaches around the league are doing right now? They're getting fired. Josh McDaniels is way better head coach than Matt Eberflus, and he got fired twice.
Oh, okay. I don't know about that.
I don't know if I can agree with that either.
Maybe,
I know where you're going.
I'm pushing back on that specifically. Josh,
paper he is.
Look, look. I mean, whoever replaced. I think Josh. What's his name? Is it McDaniels?
Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels.
Not McDaniels, but that's what they call him.
McNuggets.
No, I think he's one of the worst coaches in the history of the NFL. I don't think Eberflus is quite
over this.
McDaniels is bad, dude. The players hate him. He was terrible in Denver. He only won. He won 6 straight games in Denver because they were cheating. Which I'm cool with cheating, but that's the reason why they won. But point being, look, I'm with you. I do want Eberflus gone. I don't want them to hire the same person that you want them to hire, but I definitely want Eberflus gone. So I think the ideal situation is the Bears finish like 8-9 or 9-8 by some miracle, and still fire the head coach, and bring in more pieces to build around Justin Fields. And ideally that's because Fields plays better these last 5 games. But I still want to win them. I don't. Right now
I want to be competitive and still get a 1 and possibly 3 pick. That's what I want.
That's what I want.
That's what I want.
That's what.
And I mean, you look at that pick. All right, if you can somehow pull out of your ass, say, I'm just throwing names out there, but Marvin Harrison Jr. to go alongside with DJ Moore next year, and then Verse as a defensive end, opposite side of Sweat. Shit, that looks good.
It does look good. I mean,
if we do
Versus
win and we
stock is
possibly go to
falling
like
for whatever
7 or 8,
reason.
you might still be able to pull Latu. You're still worried a little bit about his injury history, but the guy's still a beast and a dog. I'd still love him opposite side of Montez Sweat too.
And something I do like seeing is one thing, and this is just just because you brought up injury history, one thing I am taking away that's positive from that Vikings game was Tevin Jenkins looked like he was really hurt early on. I think someone fell on his back on a field goal or something.
It looked nasty, yeah.
It looked nasty,
like
and then he comes back in the game. And I'm very reassured by his toughness and just the idea that, and I know for a fact, just based on what I've heard from Washington commenters, just that like Montez Sweat's the same way. Like if he gets injured, like he plays through it. I think the Bears, like they're starting to get guys. Hopefully, hopefully they continue this and they do more of this. Just getting guys that are tough and that are not afraid to play hurt, because it's kind of like a rite of passage in the NFL, to my understanding. That's why I can never play, because I get a lot of ouchies. But
okay, but that's what we want. Granted, it's football. It's the ultimate tough guy sport, right? But when I say that you have a chance to draft a generational piece, the Bears, in my opinion, have had 5 generational pieces that they've ever drafted. Can you all name one besides Walter Payton?
5 generational pieces that the Bears have drafted? Well, Brian.
Well, I want to say in recent history, because I don't want to really go to the 85 Bears, because at this point that looks like an anomaly.
It is an anomaly.
I want you to name me 5 generational pieces that the Bears had that had success in Chicago.
All right, can injuries define them from having a long success, or is that?
Of course.
Because I would throw Kyle Long on that list, but it's unfortunate injuries hit him the last.
I wouldn't call Kyle Long generational. I'd call him.
He could have been if he stayed healthy. That's where I'm going with that.
Sure.
Injury history,
but he didn't stay healthy. Like that's why he's not generational. Like that's part of it. That's part of it.
Availability is part of it, But I'm saying, honestly, can you guys name the generational talent that the Bears have actually drafted?
Not since like the early 2000s.
Brian Urlacher.
Early 2000s.
1.
Yeah. I still think Tommy Harris, similar to Kyle Long.
2.
Let's see, 2007, no, 2008. I think we didn't have a pick. 2000, or wait, was it 2009? We didn't have a pick. We got that offensive tackle, Chris Williams, wasn't very good. Greg Olsen.
I'll pass.
What was he drafted at, though?
He was drafted at 31.
31?
I'll pass with the generational.
Sure, but he's might be a Hall of Famer.
Val just said 1.
Yeah, I would say Devin Hester
for sure.
There you go.
Sure.
It's 2 more. 1 you all forgot because
Matt Forte, you could probably throw. He was drafted, but I don't know if I'd put him as a generational either.
For the Bears, yes. He's probably our 3rd best running back behind Peyton and Sayers.
That's a little rude to Thomas Jones, but okay. But yeah, I think
that's not rude to Thomas Jones. That's just fact.
No,
I thought Thomas Jones was like one of the better running backs we've had. I still put Jones over Forte, but that's just a very unpopular opinion.
In a year, man. No.
Yeah, and how many of those were when the Bears were down by like 50 points?
You forgot the other one, and he was also stricken by injury. Mike Brown. Those are the only. Because remember, Mike Brown was that hybrid safety that everybody was trying to get. That's what created the Palomalus and the Reeds and all that. We had them first.
Yeah, that's a fair.
Flipping back, I'm sorry, Easy. I cannot take Thomas Jones over Matt Forte. There's no
Thomas Jones. He was the whole offense for like 3 years.
Matt Forte was a dynamic runner, a dynamic like pass or catcher. Like he was a damn good pass blocker too. Like Matt Forte was this generational type player. Like if you put Thomas Jones in this generation, he wouldn't have been as talented. If you put Matt Forte in that generation, he would have dominated.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Well, okay. Yeah, I think Matt Forte's game is more conducive to today's game than Thomas Jones was. But at the time, Thomas Jones was doing some pretty incredible stuff for us. And, there's a reason why I had like a 15-year career. Like he was really good for a very long time and an absolute Iron Man. No, I still think Thomas Jones is one of the more underrated Bears. And it's not even a knock on Forte necessarily. It's just, if we're ranking Bears running backs, if that's the game we're playing, I'd put Jones, I'd give him the slight edge. But, very unpopular opinion.
Nothing wrong with
I love Peanut Tillman too, Jeremy. He's my guy.
Well, so and that was going to be my outlier. Where do you put Peanut? But you have to consider Peanut, if not generational, he was game changing.
Yeah,
well,
good point.
he was his whole thing was he was a master at creating opportunities on defense. Like his whole thing, he averaged half a turnover.
He will have more interception, or he has more interceptions than Jalen Johnson will have in his career.
Look, I studied.
And Tillman was. I'm just saying in general when his career's over. Tillman was.
Yeah, look, I studied Tillman for a very long time. I have a whole report on why he belongs in the Hall of Fame, and he is. First of all, yeah, Jeremy's right. He's got a move named after him, right? There was.
That's why I said he's more.
They still say it's crazy.
Exactly. So while while people still talk about mossing people, the counter punch, no pun intended, is the peanut punch. Absolutely. Like you gotta be able to counter that kind of thing. And in addition, Charles Tillman, I think he played like 141 games or something, and he forced I think he forced about 82 fumbles or something like that. Or no, not forced 82 fumbles, but 82 turnover opportunities, I call them, between forced fumbles.
That's why I say there's an argument to be had. We're not taking Peanut out. I think Peanut should be in the Hall of Fame.
Right, right. But I'm kind of going off the rails with this side.
And I'm gonna bring you back, but that's fine. But like I was saying, and then for what some other people were saying, if you go in and think Dr. Truth, Briggs, and Urlacher both praise Mike Brown. Mike Brown was that guy. He was trending to be that guy, and injuries just happened to, catch him at the wrong time and shorten his career. However, the argument of Lance Briggs, was Lance Briggs generational? No, Lance Briggs was very, very good. He wasn't generational. He was
I'm going to give him a great linebacker.
I'll give you he's a great Bears linebacker. I love Lance Briggs. Yep. He's a great linebacker. But we've seen those linebackers come throughout before. We've seen Lance Briggs, Otis Wilson, Warwick Coleman, Wilbur Marshall, who Jim Morrissey said that was the greatest linebacker he's ever seen in life.
Marshall had that fear factor,
But what I'm saying is we can't – that's like saying that because Gale Sayers only played 6 years, he wasn't like one of the greatest. Well, within those 6 years, hell, Terrell Davis is in the Hall of Fame off of 6 years too. Like you can have a Hall of Fame – name me a better running back than Bo Jackson at the time for that little 4 years he played.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we would like to say that he should have – you can't. We would like to say we would have liked to see his career be longer, but that was still a drafted generational talent.
And, I want to say real quick, though, about, what Jeremy's comment was.
It's a very good point there, Jeremy. Can we name an offense?
It is mostly defensive generational talent.
It's always defense.
And again, if we're talking generational, Thomas Jones not generational at all. Bears didn't draft him. I don't think I wouldn't call Matt Forte generational either.
I don't know if I'd call him.
I thought Matt Forte very, very good. Maybe even
another great running back.
Yeah, no, so generational is Adrian Peterson, LaDainian Tomlinson.
I said for the Bears.
Okay, but we can't
threw the caveat in there.
Maybe we can't apply that standard though because we're trying to be like
we have horrible offensive structure as it is. So I mean, that's the case.
The best offensive players the Bears have ever had are Walter Payton and Brandon Marshall. Skill position.
One of them was drafted, one of them was traded for. So again, we didn't draft them. But but see, you guys, I think you guys are missing the forest for the trees at this point. What I'm saying is, we don't often draft that generational talented guy for our team as far as what we've done as an organization or the NFL. We don't do it. And when we do it, it's normally on defense.
Here's a good question. Like, who would you pick as the best Bears wide receiver ever drafted?
Jeffrey. Easily. I think easily. I mean, again, he's one of those guys who he got injured too, but when he was healthy, he might have been.
He also led the team every single year and dropped passes too. So
I have to say, I got to take Seaway.
I think I might take Conway over.
This is the generational divide, but yes,
it could be. I wasn't really around that much with Conway either. I was more early. My years was Conway, but I look at Alshon Jeffrey and I just see. Great player, guy went up, got the ball, made some great passes.
Yes,
how many dropped passes were right?
Okay, but that's another guy that you could say didn't have a super long career.
Yeah, and it was.
I think Johnny Knox was a really good player, not generational, but really good.
Not generational.
Earl Bennett, very solid.
Earl Bennett, but I like Earl Bennett, but I think Earl Bennett was another one that was hurt often, right?
Yeah, he was good. Yeah. He had a healthy his first 2 years, or first year actually, but then he kept getting nagging injuries.
But these are all guys who are good, solid dudes, but not like, generational. I think the only all-pro receiver we had for a while was Marty Booker.
And he wasn't generational.
No, he wasn't generational.
No, definitely not. He made one generational catch against the Lions, though, but that's another, that's not really
the one hand.
He had a lot more hype on his name. Like they expected him to do a lot more, but we also didn't have a quarterback either.
So again, now you have a chance to draft somebody that's considered generational first. Take it. When the Jets saw Keyshawn Johnson available, they took him.
Yep.
The first pick doesn't always have to be a quarterback.
But
Samuel's got a good one. We forgot about.
Are you talking about Marvin Harrison Jr.?
You damn right. I'm talking about.
Obviously, we're talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. There's nobody else who's generational.
There are others in the draft. I'm pretty sure that they're talking about
Nate. You talking about Davis?
Aren't they talking about Latu in the same regard? I feel Latu. Look, the most recent
Latu's injury prone right now. That's what we're worried about with him. Like his skill is out of this world. He could be a beast.
The CBS mock draft right now has us taking Latu at number
better
1.
Be like 7.
Okay, CBS.
That was taking him at 1.
CBS is stupid.
Well, that's just dumb as shit right there.
CBS is stupid. Cap and J Hood say some stupid stuff. I dare them to come on and say they chap my ass. They just
fucking Latu. Like, come on, dude. And I love Latu. And I've said this on the show numerous times. Like, I might even consider him possibly at 4 if like our offensive tackle and all the people we want is gone. But Verse is Latu. I don't know about those two because Latu I feel like can have more of an upside in my opinion. But Verse is
ready to go right now.
More injury.
Verse is ready to go right now.
Yeah, I agree. With
you. We've seen good defensive players come from UCLA too. Miles Jack, what's his name? Anthony Barr.
Yeah, a couple others. Sure. The school doesn't bother me. That's like saying that I'm not taking a Notre Dame guy, but look what Kyle Hamilton is doing over there.
Sometimes the school bothers me. Sometimes with quarterbacks, but
Notre Dame would bother me in quarterback for sure, and I'm a Notre Dame guy.
Look, you're not wrong.
No,
you're not wrong. But that's a little bit different in my opinion. But what I'm saying is, when you have somebody, we said after.
Yeah, we're saying after 85 Bears.
Post the heyday.
Right. I want to say.
Go to that.
There are two. The thing is, JB, there are 2 generational talents in this debate, in this draft, and that is obviously Marvin Harrison, and then Caleb Williams. I'm sorry, that's what they're saying about him. That's what people who are smarter than I am are saying about
generational interception thrower.
No,
I mean, he's got 90. I think he has 97 touchdowns to like 14 interceptions or something like that.
He's 30-5 this year, and that's a bad year. But here again,
so I don't care about quarterback stats in college, honestly. But
I do. The point, fellas.
I mean, I do, but I don't. Like, I take them all with a grain of salt.
But listen, here's you have to look at what they did in college to a degree. You have to look at it.
Sure.
Here's the thing where it bothers me when you have like a Jay Hood say, "There's no way that you can miss out on generational quarterbacks 2 years in a row." Well, first of all, we missed out years ago when we didn't take Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes. You're not as mad about that as you are about taking somebody last year who the quarterbacks that were taken last year really ain't doing all of that.
Other than one.
Well, okay, CJ Stroud is doing a lot.
I said, okay, but the year before that, like CJ Stroud is an outlier because DeMeco Ryan said, I want an offensive coordinator that's going to build around this guy's strengths. Not an offensive coordinator that's going to come in and say, my system above everybody else. So DeMeco Ryans did it the right way.
Right.
That's why CJ Stroud looks the way he does. Coming out of college, when you compared the two, they said Justin was way better than CJ Stroud in college. Light years. So don't tell me about the importance of a coach and his philosophy and that damn Denny's menu that Getsy has that's only got screen on this side and then screen on this side. Where's your variety?
It's
motherfucker. And that's what he does. But then you sit up here and you drill. I think he said something to the tune of if somebody out there can fact check me, the game after DJ Moore had 230 yards, the game after they asked DJ Moore, Justin was 6 of 10. DJ Moore had maybe like 54 yards or whatever it was. Then Getsy said, "Oh, my offense is not predicated on one player, or one player is not going to star in my offense, or whatever." Some dumb stuff like that. The sheer fact that man let that filth spew out his mouth, I would have fired him on the spot. What you mean? He did more to be the number one. Feed him.
Why did we make that?
That's on par with Matt Nagy. That's on par with when Matt Nagy said, "I didn't come here to run the I formation." No, you came here to win games, Matt. That's your job. Your job is to win, and if that means running the I, you're going to run the I. Like, do what works for your players.
You build around your player's strength, and that's why CJ Stroud is having so much success. Their offensive coordinator. Think about it like this, and I'm not even trying to be funny. Look at the resurgence of Jared Goff when he has Ben Johnson. Because remember, Jared Goff, Sean McVay was done with him. Done, get rid of him. Ben Johnson came in. Let's go back to what the Rams did when you was going to the Super Bowl. Let's see what you did best. Ben Johnson got them humming. Same thing when you look at, and I'm not even trying to compare it apples and oranges, but apples and oranges are still fruit. When you look at what Brian Dable last year was able to get out of Daniel Jones and make it to the playoffs, there's something to be said about an offensive mind that can whisper in the quarterback's ear and make something happen with what they got. Getsy's like, nope, you can't run my system, but this noodle-armed quarterback from Division II can. What?
Well, by that logic, though, didn't Matt Nagy take a Mitch Trubisky-led team? Obviously, we had a really good defense, but I'm pretty sure the Giants did too. The Giants had a really good defense when they, got.
But Daniel Jones looked different. See, that's the thing. He looked different.
Yeah, he had a good year.
If you look at how he played quarterback pre-Brian Dable, and then look at how he played when Dable got his hands on him, look what he did. I'll do you one better. Go back to Josh Allen when Dable finally got his hands on him and then got him Stephon Diggs. Look at the difference. So now we got Justin, his Stephon Diggs, and DJ Moore.
Absolutely.
We don't have the Brian Dable pulling the strings on the offensive side.
Ding, ding.
I read something today from Bleacher Report. NFL rumors: Bears to target Commanders Eric Bieniemy if HC Matt Eberflus is fired. Just a complete Noah Gross sent it to me, and Noah's usually he's pretty thorough with his research. Also, he might be listening. So, what up, Noah? If you are listening, I think that would be great. I'm all for that. I'd like to know what y'all think of that, because I think Bieniemy, he's done a lot with Sam Howell.
Had him last year.
And that's the thing. And I'm not saying Sam Howell is putting the world on fire by no means.
He's not. And I do think Washington will draft a quarterback, as a matter of fact. But
that's the scary part, right? Because right now, Ron Rivera don't even know if he's gonna have a job next year.
I don't think he will. I don't think he's gonna be the
coach. So if you're a Bieniemy, let's play if was a fifth. Let's play that. If Bieniemy is approached by Magic Johnson and ownership, and they say, "Hey,
I know where you're going with this.
We're going to make you the head man, and we're going to let you keep doing what you're doing." But Bieniemy says, guess what? Yeah, I don't want Sam Howell. Sam Howell leads the league in passing. He's either first or second in passing. They just can't score. They can't get to the red zone. And
they have no wide receivers in the red zone.
They get stuck.
He gets stuck. Or you're the Bears and you say, "Hey, we're going to let you run your offense. Can you do anything with Justin Fields like you did with Patrick Mahomes?" Quid pro quo. I think you at least bring him in for the interview and see if he answers that question. Because if that's the standard and Justin can get you anywhere close to that standard with the running ability, and Eric Bieniemy has been proven, according to Patrick Mahomes himself, to be this offensive genius and whisperer. Hell, I know Justin Fields is better than Sam Howell. Yeah. So imagine what Justin can do with Bieniemy's offense.
But that's the thing. We're again going into bringing somebody in who can Justin run their offense.
Well, I think the difference, Frank, in this case is like it's not just in running Bieniemy's offense. It's the fact that Bieniemy is adaptable. Bieniemy
he's very adaptable.
That's his offense. His offense is adapting to whatever
he does adjust no matter what quarterback that he has, and that's what our coach does not do.
Right, exactly, and that's why. Yeah, no, I'd be all for Bieniemy. Obviously, I saw Harbaugh's name in the comments.
Harbaugh's coming here too, so
I
know JB is very against. We are
like this. This is the thing with Harbaugh. Would I take Harbaugh over what we have now? Absolutely, I will take Harbaugh over what we have now. But if the rumors are true, and again, they're just rumors, and it always happens when a former Chicago Bear can possibly be a head coach. Yeah, we spoke to him. Yeah, we're talking to him. We're thinking about him. But when it's all set in the long run, they don't go and get him. It's just Bears history. But if they do, we do know then Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles have a lot of pull in those chains then.
I remember in San Francisco, one of the problems was Jim Harbaugh wanted more control. If you look, and Jim, it's no secret that Jim Harbaugh loves to run the ball. But if you look it up, I want to say Colin Kaepernick, that little time, because Jim Harbaugh was only there 4 years, that little time, Colin Kaepernick's high watermark for passing yards was about 3,700. Somebody can check that for me.
Yeah, it was close to that.
That's pretty good.
And then he had a bunch of rushing yards. Cool. He knows how to quarterback somebody similar to Justin Fields. But guess what? Kaepernick was good, but you know what Kaepernick doesn't have? He don't have that cannon Justin Fields has.
No.
You know what Justin Fields does best?
He has Kaepernick had no ability. Like, he only threw a cannon. He's like a Bobby Douglas type thing. But I know what you're saying. Yes, Fields has touch. Kaepernick never had that touch.
But you know what? What does Justin Fields do best?
Deep ball.
Yes.
What does Luke Getsy's offense do the least?
Deep ball.
Doesn't fit your quarterback.
But wouldn't I feel like Jim Harbaugh would come in and he'd want to run like a vertical power scheme of some kind.
You know who would flourish in this offense? Mac Jones.
In the Eberflus in the Getsy offense?
That's perfect for Mac Jones.
Yeah. I don't even know if Mac Jones would.
It's because Mac Jones can't throw it. I mean, Mitch Trubisky wouldn't be as bad.
I don't think Mac Jones would flourish.
Accurate short.
I don't think Mac Jones would flourish in the XFL.
He's like,
so you're saying like the ones who would flourish in this offense are Mac Jones, Jimmy Garoppolo, guys like that.
Nah, Jimmy could throw it a little bit better than Mac Jones.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that. But
like Jimmy wasn't no slouch, man. Jimmy was all right.
Yeah, well, yeah, Jimmy Jimmy's footwork was really good. And, he was good with the timing stuff. But
right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this offense would fit perfectly for that quarterback. I say it every week. You got a freaking Ferrari, but you drive him like a Toyota Camry.
I wouldn't call him a Ferrari yet. He could grow into a Ferrari. He's like a Mustang.
He's a
Mustang. He's not a Ferrari, JB. He's not there yet. No, there's one Ferrari, and that's Mahomes.
A Corvette?
Hold on. Did you forget what he did at Ohio State when he had weapons and an offensive line?
No, I did not forget
that.
The
ball all over the field. So don't tell me that all of a sudden what the kid does best, he just can't do no more.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he's not a Ferrari yet. I'm saying he can be a Ferrari. I just, saying he's I guess we're squabbling over
a Ferrari without the engine then?
No, he's still got a lot of room to grow. Is what I'm saying.
If I buy a Ferrari and I get out on the interstate and only go 50 miles an hour, I got a Ferrari, but I ain't driving it like a Ferrari.
Well, there you go. That
means he looks good.
Look, I see your point, but I want to kind of shift gears a little bit. And I want to talk about.
Wait. Time out. Keith, Marty Morningwig, really? Please elaborate. I got to know this. Please.
I need to look this guy up. I don't even know who he is, if I'm being honest.
It can't be good if you don't even know who he is.
Well, Marty Morningwig is an old coach, but I'm saying, like, what about him makes you want to say he'd be perfect for Justin Fields? Okay, Lorenzo, a Lamborghini. I like that. Ferrari, Lamborghini, Corvette, three of my favorite cars. I love it.
I would throw a Corvette because it looks nice. Actually, it's fast as fuck now.
I think it's. I think
those newer ones since 2018-19.
Look, I think he could be a Camaro. I think he's a Camaro, maybe a Mustang, but I think he needs a little bit. like a little bit of time before he's a Ferrari. I think that's fair to say. But no, the point I was making real quick is I was listening to Part of My Take, and it was Brandon Marshall.
I thought that's where you were going with that, Keith, because I was going to say, are you talking about his days in Philly?
Yeah. As OC, yeah.
Not terrible, but look, what I'm saying here, JB, is
I could go. I could kick the tires on it. But
I'd hire him as a consultant, maybe. But look,
maybe a quarterback's coach.
I do want to talk about
even
this
an OC.
Before I forget, Cam Newton and Brandon Marshall were on Part of My Take, and they were talking about Justin Fields. And what Cam said, it was a really interesting point, and I want to know how you feel about it, is that he wants to see the Bears run more up-tempo, no-huddle stuff.
Yes.
And, do things where he doesn't have to think so much. He could just go out there and play.
Just go out there and ball.
Cerebral to a fault. He's a very – people say he's not smart. He doesn't read the defense. No, he's very smart. He's smart to a fault. Where
Shelby GT.
Sure, yeah, whatever, Lorenzo. That's funny. But no, look, point I'm making.
It's a Mustang. A Shelby GT is like the
right. No, I know. Yeah. But point I'm making is, like what offense? I guess does that make sense for Justin Fields? And whether it does or doesn't, like what offense do you think is the kind of offense that works the best for a quarterback like Justin? And like, how do you feel about like more up tempo stuff like that? Like Cam was saying,
I would love more.
Absolutely. And you all might not agree, or you two might be a little bit young. Lorenzo, I want to shoot this out to you because you're probably the one, and Bullet's probably the one to remember it the most.
Yeah, they're like 50 years old, right?
I see Justin flourishing in that system where the Houston Oilers used to run with Warren Moon, and they took a piece of that offense, and Randall Cunningham ran that with good Lord, that's a long text.
That's just showing love.
Randall Cunningham ran that with the Vikings that year with Randy Moss and them boys.
Good Lorenzo, God. I like your car analogy. Sorry to dismiss it. We're taking this down because I can't see JB. I couldn't read his expression. But wait, so you said what the Vikings ran with Cunningham. After Warren Moon.
That because they incorporated you had to stretch it, go do it, everything guy and Randy Moss. We got to
Can we get Randy
Moss? The Chris Carter. Then they had the Chris Carter type guy. If we got an Marvin Harrison Jr., then you had the slot guy. You had Robert Smith as your running back.
Quality back, yeah.
Between Herbert and Roshan and Freeman.
No, Roshan. I think Roshan's the guy. I think Roshan's absolutely.
Yeah, that's it, Lorenzo. The run and shoot with the running aspect. And Cole Kmet, because of the zone presence, Cole Kmet is a zone beating tight end. He's not a man beating tight end per se.
Is the run and shoot the same as the running gun?
A little bit. Running gun could also be used as a basketball term, but Atlanta under Jerry Glanville had something called the red gun, and that was with Chris Miller when they had Andre Rison and them guys, Mike Rozier. That's a little bit different. But what I'm saying is you go 3 wide heavy. You got a tight end that's like another receiver, almost like how Kelsey is, right? Kind of like what Andy Reid is doing. But the reason why I say take this is because you got that element of the deep ball. They threw a lot of deep balls. Just look up what the run and shoot with Warren Moon and them guys were. Look at what Randall Cunningham and them boys did with that Minnesota team, that 15-1 team.
No, that was a crazy game.
It was bombs over Baghdad, and Robert Smith still had over 1,000 yards. That's what Justin is for me. Or even Eric Coryell, right? Thank you. See, Lorenzo, get what I'm talking about. That's the type of quarterback Justin is. And when you do all that, okay, he held the ball too long. Guess what? Now I can run because I don't have 7 guys barreling down on me. Because if you do, I got one-on-one coverage with my world beaters.
The one thing I will say, if you're going to run an offense like that, I'm pretty sure something important to have is a running back who is not afraid to pass block. Like you gotta have someone really big who can.
Foreman and Roshan Johnson are not afraid to pass block.
And there you go. So that's good.
The only thing is, I don't feel that the Bears would keep Freeman. I think they like Herbert enough to say let Herbert be the 1-2.
Foreman.
Yeah, because remember, Foreman's not either one of their draft picks. Foreman was picked up off the free agent list.
Give a shit.
Right. I like Foreman, by the way. I think he's a good back.
Herbert is.
And that's why I said, like, if you and that's why I said, like, sometimes to be innovative in the future, you got to kind of like take things from the past. That old 3 yards in a cloud of dust, that we don't do that no more. That ain't what we do.
Doesn't work.
It doesn't work for us anyway, because guess what we still can't do? We can't score.
Yeah.
And then if you bring in a Caleb Williams, a Drake May, a Michael Penix Jr., or whoever, guess what? Yes, you're resetting the salary cap clock, but you're also trying to teach a rookie. If I'm a head coach and I say, guess what? Bears hire me. Do I want Caleb Williams or Drake May? Rookie's got to start all over. Or do I get me a quarterback whisperer? Do I get me a Bieniemy? Do I get me and I'm the GM, by the way. You get me I'm not head coach, I'm the GM. You get me a Bieniemy. You get me a Ben Johnson. You get me the kid, what's his name? Hell, even Kellen Moore to a degree.
Yeah.
You get me somebody with that vertical threat offense and can put hands on Justin Fields. I think we got something moving. And here's the big part. I'm only going to pay him $20 million with the extension. I can buy some time for the next 2 years. Sure. But now instead of me coming in with a rookie quarterback that don't know shit, Justin at this point has 3 years under his belt. He knows a little something. He's not somebody I got to overcoach. And then when I put him in precarious situations, he's like, oh. Justin, rely on your instincts. You know what? Take off. Think, fellas. And that's why I say when you listen to them guys down the dial, just because they get paid big bucks don't mean they know what they're talking about.
I do think it's a little optimistic to expect them to replicate exactly what the 98 Vikings did. However,
I said take pieces. And that's
pieces. Right.
Pieces.
I like, what about like that Kagon that Buffalo did with Jim Kelly?
But again, you talking about James Lofton. You had Pete Metzelaars. You had Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed. You had pieces.
Right.
You had a hell of an offensive line. Mm-hmm. Before Pete Metzelaars, matter of fact, the first Super Bowl, you had a guy by the name of Keith McKellar, if I'm not mistaken. Like you had pieces, and that's what I'm saying. Right now, I think running back by committee considered that's a piece. Tight end Cole Kmet, top 10 tight end in the league. That's a piece. DJ Moore, that's a big piece. Big piece. Darnell Wright, big piece. Tevin Jenkins, big piece. Nate Davis, big piece. That's why you don't have to go get a quarterback, because now your quarterback right now, he's not a bad piece. He's just a piece right now. You get a Marvin Harrison Jr. and a competent OC and coach, now he's a piece. Now we throw the ball all over the yard.
It's interesting you say that. Something I'm thinking about is with that number, let's say hypothetically, the Bears get the 1 and 3 pick. They somehow manage to fall into those picks. Who are you taking, JB and Frank? Like, what are you doing?
Can we shift to the draft thing now?
Well, how about we pay some bills?
Yeah.
Pay some
bills, and then we're going to switch over to draft picks, because we all know we got a shitload to talk about with draft picks. So before I hit our ads, people, do me a favor, hit that like button.
There was a time when high standards prevailed, when excellent craftsmanship was displayed and treated with the utmost importance. Acquire the crisp, refreshing taste of Moore's Beer. Moore's Beer. Raise your standards.
I'm gonna briefly break some baseball news real quick. The Yankees and Red Sox made a trade together today with each other.
That never happens, does it?
It's pretty rare, I think. Alex Verdugo going to New York for 3 righty pitchers. So just interesting information in the sports world. Anyway, that's it. NFL draft.
Who wants to go first? Who wants?
Are we all in agreement that right now, just right now, can we definitively say Justin Fields is better than the top quarterback prospects in this draft?
Yes.
No.
You say that.
Yes. Hands down, with one leg fucking and an arm tied behind his freaking back. He's better.
I cannot definitively say that he's better than Caleb Williams.
Why?
I could definitively say he's better than all the others.
Enlighten me and tell me what Caleb Williams does better than Justin Fields.
Well, let's see. Okay, do you want to hear some numbers? If you want to hear numbers,
I have plenty of numbers that I can dish.
All you gotta do is go Ohio State versus USC and look at the numbers, and you'll see like, oh damn.
Well, it's not even just Ohio State.
No, I'm just saying because a lot of people forget what Justin.
You're saying comparing them, yes.
I think it's 93 touchdowns to 14 interceptions in however many games in his career. It looks like 37 games or something. Mm-hmm. I think just based on like this is all just based on what I've read from scouts and the eye test to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like that's really what it is. It's the reason why I'm hesitant on Justin Fields is not because I don't think he's good, because I do think he's good. I think he could be really, really good. The Bears have never had a generational quarterback, or they've never even had a chance to really draft a guy like that. That's why I'm hesitant. I do think Caleb Williams can absolutely be an upgrade. I don't think it's fair to say he's mentally like Claypool, just because like Claypool, Williams definitely has more work ethic than Claypool ever did. I don't think that's a question.
Hey, easy. I'm gonna just give you the number that you need to look at the most.
I'm ready to give a number too, but you go first, JB.
41-3.
That's
67%. That's 67%. Then I'm gonna give you the COVID year when couldn't nobody work out or nothing. 22-6, 70% completion percentage.
And I'm gonna give you one other one, and this is where I'm gonna flip it over to the other side too. Justin Fields' record at Ohio State versus top 25 defenses. 14-1. Yes. 14-1. 1.2 turnover rate a game.
And that one loss was in the national championship, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Against Alabama.
Caleb Williams and his career versus top 25 defenses. 6-9.
How many top 25 defenses?
With a 3.1 turnover ratio.
Yeah, you know,
more than 60% of his yards came at dead time when they were already down by more than 2 touchdowns.
Okay, but look,
that's all he's known for is putting up numbers when the game doesn't fucking matter.
We could talk about college stats all we want to, and no, it's not when the game doesn't matter because USC never had a defense in any of Caleb Williams.
I'm not denying that.
Yeah, there's a difference between Justin Fields.
Well, I mean, we're not talking about defenses; we're talking about offensive production.
Okay, but that matters when looking at offensive production because there's a difference between Justin Fields throwing his 5th touchdown of the game at Ohio State when they're already beating Penn State like 35-10 or whatever, and Caleb Williams, going up against like Arizona who can't stop scoring against that putrid USC defense. And Caleb Williams, going out there and, him to force something. That is his problem. He tries to force things. He tries to play hero ball. He relies a lot on his.
Hey, but easy.
That's something that could be coached away.
Can I tell you something that you don't know? About that
well, I know everything, but no, I'm kidding. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. No, that's fine because I love that about you.
No, but I appreciate it. But no, go ahead. I don't know everything.
The year I'm telling you, Justin, with 41-3, 41 passing touchdowns and 3 interceptions at 67% completion percentage, 3,200 yards. Guess who his running back was?
Oh, was it Trey Sermon?
J.K. Dobbins, who had 2,000 yards and 21 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing that in the passing game while this dude is rushing for 2,000 yards and 21 touchdowns.
Ohio State is a juggernaut. You're
missing my point.
What is your point?
Never in history have you seen a person throw for 40 touchdowns and a running back run for 20.
Yeah, no, that offense was prolific. I think there's no question about that.
But we can't say Justin Fields wasn't the number one reason why they weren't prolific.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is this. Normally, if you got a running back that's got 20 touchdowns, your quarterback might have 2,200 yards and 22 touchdowns because you're running the ball a lot. You're not really throwing the ball like that.
And I'm gonna
He
tell
was
you,
throwing the ball and getting it good, while J.K. Dobbins was actually beast moding people.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. You're looking at a quarterback that can get you everything you need and still give you the running game that the Bears, for whatever reason, Bears Brad still hanging on to.
And this is the thing, and this is
for
where
what
I'm
he's gonna do.
This is another stat that I actually looked up last week too. And this was around the time when, Caleb Williams was still painting his fingernails as a kid. So, but the key thing with this is Justin Fields put up most of his numbers early on in games. So you can't say that it was mop-up rolls when he was putting up those numbers. Like he was averaging his entire college career, averaged 3 passing touchdowns in the first half.
First of all, look, there's a couple things I want to say. First of all, these are all things you're telling me to justify having Justin Fields, which, again, I'm not saying Justin Fields is bad. Like, I'm not even close to saying that.
But you are saying Caleb Williams is better, and that one I'm denying on a whole new
Caleb
level.
Williams. I'm saying Caleb, like as a prospect, Caleb Williams. First of all, as a prospect,
Justin Fields was a better prospect than Caleb Williams.
Oh, not even close.
Yeah,
not even close.
Not that. Yeah.
Oh,
no.
Hold on, easy. You know I didn't play my trump card yet, right?
Well, I mean, go ahead, use it.
He also ran for 10 touchdowns. So the man accounted for 51 freaking touchdowns in the season. 51.
Yeah, no, a lot of touchdowns.
So don't tell me he's not a weapon. Don't tell me he's not.
I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying he's not a weapon.
But you're saying Caleb Williams is better.
I'm not saying he's not immensely talented. I'm not saying he can't be a really good NFL quarterback. What I'm saying is Caleb Williams has all the makings of a generational talent.
An absolute bust.
No, oh my God. Look, okay. the prospects that are the most highly touted in our, in this generation,
every fucking draft there's
in the 2000s, Andrew Luck, Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams, in that order.
Jamarcus Russell was supposed to be in that order too.
Jamarcus Russell there was debate between whether it would be Jamarcus Russell.
Everybody every year has somebody in this order. Everybody.
That's not true. No, that's not
true. Hey,
there were question marks about Murray.
Easy, stop it. Because I can take you. Hold on. Lorenzo, you're listening. Fact check me. I can take you back to when the media, Mel Kiper's daddy and them used to say, and Mel Kiper as well, used to say that Ryan Leaf was going to be better than Peyton Manning.
I'm not talking about Mel Kiper. I'm talking about scouts, like the no-name scouts. The scouts
a lot of scouts said Ryan Leaf was going to be better than Peyton Manning. A lot of people thought Johnny Manziel was going to be the next best thing since sliced bread, man. Stop playing with me.
No, Johnny Manziel.
Teddy Bridgewater was supposed to be a great quarterback. There's a lot of players who come out and say generational quarterback.
Tim Tebow was supposed to be able to win that.
For sure.
No, he absolutely was not. Tim Tebow, people knew he was never like an NFL level quarterback. Johnny Manziel, yeah, a lot of people were saying, yeah, you got to go get this guy. You got to get this guy. Also, a lot of people knew to stay clear. There are the only 3 in my lifetime that I could remember that people
that worked out
that had no question. No, the ones who had no question. No, these are the ones who there were no question.
What do we say around here? On this show, what do we always say? When you have some foresight about something, what do you always say? You got to have what?
You gotta give me a little warning.
Hindsight? I don't know.
I said foresight.
Like a forehead?
Foresight.
So you're saying
but you got to have vision.
Vision.
I do wonder what.
If you drafted Tim Tebow, you should have been playing Tim Tebow like Taysom Hill.
Hey, absolutely. If Tim Tebow was drafted by the fucking Saints, he would still be playing right now.
Oh, if Josh McDaniels could keep a damn job and actually got his head out of his tail, and he had Tim Tebow, Kyle Orton was a starting quarterback, Tim Tebow would have been Taysom Hill back then. Stop playing with me, man.
And here's another one I'm going to lay on you just to finish off the Justin Fields talks here. All right.
Go ahead.
70% of his pass plays were beyond 20 yards.
Okay, but we're still talking about his college stats.
And we're talking a lot of yak yards and everything too. But one thing that he did so fucking well at Ohio State.
Hey, slants.
But this is what we give them.
Ohio State.
This is what we give them. Justin Fields would flourish if you give him a fucking OC.
I got a question.
I don't think y'all are seeing
Jake Browning last night. Did anybody watch Jake Browning last night?
I did. He ran a lot of slants.
I fell asleep. I didn't get to see him.
That's what he did. Yeah. He started off doing the little Getsy shit, dink and dunk. And you know what his coach said? Hey, man, let me open it up.
And it worked.
354 yards, 3 touchdowns later. Guess what? They
win.
We
keep that dink and dunk shit all fucking game. In the words of the best meme that JB ever shared with me.
Call screen right? Call a screen pass? Oh, still call a screen pass, but do it to the other side.
Look. All right, Lorenzo's saying get the emotions out and speak your truth. So I'm gonna.
Caleb Williams fucking blows. That's my truth.
Okay, no.
I would take 2 quarterbacks over Caleb Williams.
Hey, easy. Let me tell you something because I want to speak about character. Go back up to thank you, Crazy. Caleb's worst games are against highest ranked competition. He just doesn't play well against top competition. He just doesn't.
And what are you going to get in the NFL? It's all top competition.
It's all top competition. But go to Jeremy. Caleb Williams doesn't have the mentality for the NFL. Raise your hand if you want a QB that bails on your team right before your bowl game.
Boom. Caleb Williams wanted to improve his draft status.
Didn't even go to the press conference.
Look, that's one thing. One thing I will say is I will give you some merit on those character concerns, okay? But talent-wise and just given how young he is, and also if you just watch his highlight reel, and if you
I
watch...
can show you bad highlights too, though, Easy.
Oh, no, of course, but I'm sure
Easy, stop watching highlights and watch the game.
I watch full games. I do. I like watching his full games.
Look. Hold on. And this is not even a shot at you. I can show you highlights that makes Mitch Trubisky make you think that was a good draft pick.
You didn't let me finish my sentence, guys.
Finish the sentence before I land it.
I'm saying, look, when you factor in everything, not just what the scouts say, but also like, if you do, when I say highlights, I don't just mean like his best plays. I mean like, just like where they put together like every throw from any given Caleb Williams game. And when you factor in, look, again, J.K. Dobbins, right? You talk about Justin Fields had J.K. Dobbins at Ohio State, right? Marshawn Lloyd is the number 1 running back right now at USC. Good player, should go in the draft. He's not a number 1 pick, he's not a first-round pick like Dobbins was. I'm pretty sure Dobbins went in the first round.
Not what was he late?
I think he was the 28th pick,
or was he second? He went to Baltimore. He's on Baltimore Hill. He never plays because he's always injured. But
he was the second round.
I thought he was second round, right?
Yeah, second round. Still, I think there's definitely a disparity in the talent there. But also, I'm just saying, like, when someone goes in and puts up the kinds of numbers and does the kinds of things that Caleb has done for 3 years, and yes, I know that they've played some inferior competition, and I know that when they play good teams, they do tend to fold under pressure. But a lot of that folding under pressure is a lot of what we've seen from Justin Fields in the NFL when he played. When.
So why are you drafting Caleb if you're getting the same out of
easy?
Because
it's real simple, bro.
How highly touted he is, man.
Easily.
There's only one thing that you could even consider doing it for, and that's to restart the clock from a rookie contract. That's the only reason why you would even consider it. But if you look at the numbers here, and I am a numbers guy, I like looking at that stuff. Caleb Williams holds on to the ball longer. Caleb Williams is not as fast. He's not as strong. He's not as athletic. He might have a stronger arm, but he's not as accurate down the field as Field is.
He doesn't have a strong arm than Justin.
He has a cannon, but
he got a cannon, but he don't have a howitzer. Yeah, Justin got a howitzer.
Absolutely. And then the key thing is, what does Fields struggle with a lot? And correct me if I'm wrong, it's zone defenses. All right. Caleb Williams is awful versus zone defenses. Awful. All right. And I'm not saying he can't learn it. I'm not saying, like, I'll rephrase my stuff and saying the guy's a bust. I'm just sick and tired of hearing he is a better quarterback than Justin, because Caleb Williams is not a day one starter. I don't care what people say.
Oh, no. If he's drafted first or second,
he will be a day one starter, but he's not a day one starter.
He's going to be Bryce Young currently, because he's going to go to if he goes to us at 1, DJ Moore is going to come to Ryan Poles or whoever the GM is going to be like, you might as well trade me now because I'm not re-signing with y'all. I'm not. I'm just not.
Look, again, what I'm saying is not meant to be a shot at Fields.
There's
and I think Caleb is a
question by Jeremy here. Can anyone agree why wasn't he a Heisman Trophy finalist?
Well, he won the Heisman last year.
Why wasn't he a finalist this year?
Because they aren't winning games.
Sat out games too much because he was afraid to get hurt.
When I don't blame him. You know, you're about to go to the NFL.
I do because I consider that no fucking balls.
Hey, easy.
Bro, this is the exact shit I say about
that's an emotionally charged argument, though. That's like
easy. Guess what? You know what Caleb Williams also said with his dad? Oh, we're not going to Chicago. So why would you want to draft him?
Is that true? I'm pretty sure that was a false report.
That was true. It got taken off right away because I'm sure Caleb Williams' agent said, "What the fuck are you doing?" But yes, it was true.
The man is making $1.8 million in NIL deals. He ain't hurting for no bread.
He said if Bears drafted him,
but like that is changed compared to what he's going to make as a number one pick.
There was this kid that was going to get drafted by the Chargers, and he said, if the came out publicly and said,
Eli Manning, I know,
draft me, I'm not coming out. I'm not going. And he ended up going to the Giants and winning 2 Super Bowls. So don't tell me about the power of the press and how if you put things out in the press, that all of a sudden some things come to light. That's why I have a problem with Chicago local media when they say boneheaded stuff like, oh, you can't pass on 2 straight years of quarterbacks or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Hey, go sucker, you know what? Because the thing that you sit up there and do is for your own propaganda and your own ignorant line of thinking. Because when you put what the Bears can do now, better quarterback play.
Kirk Cousins ain't coming here on a cheap account.
Better quarterback play will come with better coaching. Period.
Yes, that I can absolutely agree with that.
We went to the Super Bowl with
Rex Grossman.
Imagine if Justin Fields was on that Super Bowl team. We'd be like, hey, 85 and 2006.
Who was the one who came out and said it? Wasn't it Brian Urlacher who came out and said if we had Jay Cutler on that Super Bowl team, we would have easily won that freaking Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's probably true. But look, again, and look, I never even said, like, just so you know, I never even said
he did get picked by the Chargers, but he was immediately traded.
I never even said like Caleb Williams is going to be better than Justin Fields. I just said as a prospect, like, yeah, Caleb Williams absolutely is a better prospect than Fields was. And, you know, that's evidenced by the fact that he's as highly touted as anyone I've seen.
Easy. What does he do better? Answer the question. What does he do better?
All right, here's a comment right here. Well, I'm defending Lorenzo on this one. I would take him over Caleb Williams.
Interesting.
I would take a lot of quarterbacks over Caleb Williams.
Because what does he do better?
Is a more athletic Dak Prescott with no
reading
heart.
His strengths. He's supposedly, just pure athlete. Not, probably not better than Fields in that sense, but just really, really good under pressure when there's a lot of pressure in his face. They've seen him make.
You do know Justin has higher completion percentages, right?
I know, but I'm.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure you knew that.
No, what I'm saying is, when there's a lot of pressure in his face, apparently, like that just doesn't phase him, and that's something in the NFL that I've seen phase Justin Fields a lot. Is when there's
in
pressure.
The NFL, we're talking about college. In college, Justin Fields didn't feel no pressure. It's 2 leagues, 2 conferences that are comparable to NFL talent. That's the Big Ten and the SEC. He went against the ACC team, who was dominant, threw 6 touchdowns against Trevor Lawrence and them after having cracked ribs. Went to the national championship game. You cannot sit up here and tell me that all of a sudden Justin Fields forgot how to play quarterback. No. Luke Getsy forgot he was a man and had balls and forgot how to coach. Period.
Look,
or maybe he never knew how to coach, and you need to get him on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th thing smoking, and don't ever look back. I don't even want him coaching a high school team. He should go be a data entry man for Microsoft. That's what he should do. Stay the hell away from football.
Well, that's a pretty good game.
That's what he should do.
Look, I'm just saying.
Left. I got 17 screens in a game.
I got a message on here to flip back to coaching here. What are we thinking about Lincoln Riley?
No. Hell no.
Absolutely.
Because I got numbers here First player, 285 completions, 404 attempts for 70% completion percentage, 43 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. Second player, 260 to 377 for 69% completion rate, 42 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Third one, 66% completion rate, 42 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Those quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray.
I was gonna say, and Jalen Hurts.
Yes,
right? I knew that. I knew that's who that was.
Look, again,
good stats right there, though.
I am not steadfast either way on keeping Justin Fields or drafting Caleb Williams. I hope that if the Bears move on from Justin Fields, the only quarterback I would want is Caleb Williams.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?
And conversely, if the Bears don't draft Caleb Williams, I hope it's because they decide to roll with Justin Fields.
So go back to that. Who's your draft, Easy? We kind of got off and went on a tangent, but I'm okay with that because I'm cool with this show going off on a tangent. Sometimes we need to go off on a.
No, we need it gets the blood flowing. Man. It's all good.
I feel regenerated.
Right? I mean, this whiskey is hitting me harder.
My draft, assuming.
Yes, mother. I'm telling this how I really feel because this is some bull.
He said bull, no swear.
No swear. Oh, thank you, Sam. And Caleb Williams has 30 career fumbles.
Look, all I'm saying is,
good one, Sam.
I really feel like this is in some ways you being the guy who's trying to outthink the room here because everyone, like it's not a popular opinion. Just saying, and that's kind of what my whole thing is based on. Like, I can't argue too much for this because I'm basing this off of what other people have said and think. Easy, but I'm giving you my draft. I'm gonna give you my draft. I say with the number 1 pick, I say trade back. Definitely trade back.
Okay, that's what
just a little bit. But okay, I guess we're assuming we're not trading back. All right, assuming we're not trading back, I say
no. This is yours, Easy. Just you. This is yours.
Fair. I'm gonna say Marvin Harrison Jr. And then I'm kind of stuck between. I really like Alt, but oh man, this is tough. I'm gonna go with Marvin Harrison Jr. and then I'm gonna go with Joe Alt.
Hey, Easy, did you just really give me all that grief about Caleb Williams?
And you still took Marvin Harrison.
Yeah. No.
Shit,
well,
man,
no, you didn't. You weren't hearing me. You weren't hearing what I was saying.
You were saying he was a better prospect than Justin.
No, well, yes, he was a better prospect than Justin was. That's a little different.
I literally want to run through a fucking wall right now.
Then run through a fucking wall, Frank. I don't care.
Just
don't hurt yourself and don't scare your kids. I'm just saying, look, I was just like I was partially playing devil's advocate, arguing for what a lot of other people are arguing for, and secondly, I was just saying that like I'd understand either way. I'm very much split. I'm on the fence on this move. I'm very on the fence about it. We'll see how these last 5 games go. Maybe that'll sway my opinion one way or another. But right now, just kind of for the sake of the conversation, I'm going to say we roll with Justin Fields. And that's why I'm saying get Marvin Harrison Jr. and get Joe Alt, who's just another big nasty. I wouldn't mind Fashanu either. But, build around that offense and, spend on defense. That's kind of my philosophy right now.
Okay.
What about you guys?
Do you want me to go or do you want to? Because
we have a guest, by the way. So.
We have a guest.
Well, yeah. Look at the bottom.
Oh, Bray! Sorry, I was looking up some stats. So, all right, we'll put this draft thing on a little aside for right now. Maybe Brandon's got a quick little take on the draft.
Oh, Brandon's here.
Brandon's here. Let's bring him in. And we're gonna set it off though. Easy. You want to open him up with a little introduction video?
Oh, a little highlight video. Yeah, let me see if it's here. Let's let it play, and you'll get a little background on.
I rock with Brandon.
You'll get a little background on him from the.
Run the ball. Here's Heron. He's hit as he gets to the 20-yard line. Picked up a yard on the play. Brandon McGowan was there, along with Charles Tillman. Brandon McGowan, a tremendous story. This is a guy who came to a tryout for the Bears to see if he could get a free agent contract and an invitation to training camp.
With 6 ticks left, heaves it up in the end zone. The Hail Mary is not answered as Brandon McGowan picks it up, and that's another record setter for Favre.
And that guy would light people up. So let's bring him in, a true Bear heavy hitter, and we always got to love him. Bear alum Brandon McGowan.
Man, appreciate y'all. I didn't even know I had that many highlights, man. I only had a couple, but I didn't know I had that many.
Highlights, especially that pick versus the Vikings, man. That was a sick pick.
Brother. Hold on,
I remember that pick versus the Vikings, watching it live. Yeah, that Viking pick, watching it live, I remember. That was a sick pick. Beautiful.
Too bad offense couldn't capitalize, but that's okay.
But you know what? Hey, real talk, respect, because that was Tavares Jackson.
Oh, yeah, God rest his soul. Right?
Oh, for sure.
Respect. But
without a doubt.
Man, hey man, let me tell you something. You was giving us hit factor, and we like that in Chicago.
We always love that in that cold weather.
We love that hit factor, brother. How you been?
I've been good, man. I'm used to that cold weather. That's born and raised out of Jersey. Went to school in Maine, so that cold weather don't affect me. I love playing in it.
Man, love to see that, man. Let's dive right in, man. Glad you could join us. Man, tell us your journey, because a lot of people don't realize the only other person that I can kind of like compare your story here in Chicago was the dude Michael Lewis, who played for the Saints, who was driving.
Saints, Michael, okay.
And then he pulled up and went to the tryout and made the team. Tell us your story, man.
Where you want me to start? Like high school, college?
Tell us from college how you got here, because we all know, like, coming from the University of Maine, no shade, but we know that's not like a big time football school.
Right. Yep. During my years there, it was a big hockey school. Maine was, I think they won a championship, for hockey. So that was the main sport there. But, when I was there, we won 2 division championships. We went into the playoffs twice. My senior year, actually, we went down to Mississippi State, beat them 7-9.
Okay.
Our first actually D1 win my senior year. We haven't got a win since against a big top school ever since. But my journey after college, my buddy, well, he played with me as well. His name's Steven Cooper. He played actually for the Chargers for about 8 years.
Okay.
Just called me and was like, hey, what you want to do? Did I find an agent? I was like, I was still on the cuffs of picking agents. And then he introduced me to his agents, and I ended up actually just flying down to Indianapolis. That's where he was based out of. His name was Buddy Baker. And we just meshed real well. He kept it 100 with me, told the truth. So a lot of other guys that I was dealing with at the time, they was giving me some false advertisements, so being that Buddy kept it real with me, I ended up going with Buddy. He told me I wasn't going to get drafted, but he did tell me that I had a chance to go showcase my skills with a few teams. The first one was obviously to stay at the crib with the Giants. I was trying to get away from home, so I didn't want to be too close. So I said I passed on the Giants. The second was down in Miami, and like I said, I'm a cold weather guy, so I don't do the heat really well. So
a little too hot down there.
I canceled the Miami plans, and then I told him Chicago. But then he was like, my best chance would be to either go to the Giants or Miami, just because Chicago had the safeties already. Like, they had Mike Brown, they had Mike Green. They just drafted Chris Harris. So, but for me, I'm a grinder. So it didn't matter for me. I think I can play. So I took the chance of coming out here, and I did the rookie mini camp for the weekend. Flew down on a Thursday night, left Sunday morning for the 2 days that we were down here. And right after the little mini camp, they ended up offering me a contract. Obviously, I still had to make the 53-man team coming in September, but
that
right
means
after
the squad eligible at least, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's been on ever since, I enjoy my time out here in Chicago. Chicago's been great to me, I love the city of Chicago. The fans were amazing. The team was even better, I love the atmosphere, the chemistry that we built as a unit. It was phenomenal out here in Chicago. But yeah, I was
in Chicago too.
Yeah, I actually stay in Mundelein, up north. I ain't. Well, I'm north of Chicago, about an hour from the city, but
Frank about an hour from us, so you're not that far.
I'm just a suburban.
Yep. We're out in the suburbs, and I'm enjoying it. It's relaxing, it's calm, it's slow, it's not busy, so I enjoy it.
So what did you feel with your time here? Because like I said, we love the guy that wasn't the guy. We resonate with y'all more than anything, because you all are what make the team. Y'all are the heart and soul of the team. What was different when you came here? Because if I'm not mistaken, that first year you came, and then the second year you kind of like was in the shuffle, up and down. The Super Bowl year, you was like up and down, right?
Yep.
So what changed with Lovey when he was like, "Come on, young fella, let me give you a chance"?
Man, to give you the God honest truth, as far as going through training camp and preseason, during practice, I played with the third string team.
Okay.
But when we got into the preseason games, I didn't get any playing time. The guys that was behind me, they was letting them play, but wouldn't let me play. So it was real frustrating at first. Yeah. And then Mike Brown, he ended up pulling me to the side and was like, "Hey, man, I'm going to let you know this right now." And this after like the second preseason game where I didn't get no playing time. Mm-hmm. Everybody else getting tick. I didn't get any at all, not even on special teams. He was like, "Hey, man, I'm going to let you know this right now. This is a business. And if you play in the preseason right now, and if you do well, they can't cut you. But if you don't play, they can cut you and then put you on the practice squad."
True.
And then when you go on the practice squad, nobody gonna want to pick you up because you don't have no tape. Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. But then
so it's almost like they're throwing you away.
Yep, to put me on a shelf, basically. But then the last preseason game, we ended up playing Cleveland. Mm-hmm. And the guys that was in there was just stinking it up, and the coach came in the locker room at halftime yelling. Coach Perry Fuel, he was the coach, the DB coach at the time.
Perry.
Yep. He went ham, yelling at everybody. He was like, "You want to play? You want to play?" I'm looking like, "I want to play. Put me in." Yes, put me in. And it was on from there. I went and played the second half. I had about 8-9 tackles, couple pass breakups, tackle for loss. So I ended up doing my thing. And then after that, right after the game, actually, Mike Brown was like, "Yeah, I don't think they go cut you now." And then actually I ended up making a 53-man roster after that.
That's good.
That's awesome.
If memory serves, that 05 season after that, that's when Brown, Ben Green, like they got hurt, like off and on, like back to back, right?
Yep.
I remember you played it. I remember seeing 3-6 a little bit in 05.
Yes. Thing is, to me, I don't think I was a big I don't think Lovey was a big fan of me.
Oh.
Because even
Perry
though I wasn't
Perry rocked.
Yeah, I enjoyed Perry. Yep. Perry. We had another DB coach by the name of Torian Gray. And it's crazy because he was just the assistant at the time.
Okay.
But Torian Gray, my first 2 years in college at Maine, he was my defensive back coach.
Okay. So you had a little
yeah. So Torian really mentally got my mind right on how to prepare, what to look for, watching tape. So mentally, Torian really got my mind right, because until I got into college, I was just out there running crazy, just getting to the ball. That's all I knew. But once Torian broke the game down to me, it slowed the game down for me. And then obviously I was able to be a better athlete or a better football player than what I already was doing.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
But yeah, so I ended up having Torian here he was in Chicago for 2 years as well, and then he left. But so I did have the DB coaches behind me with Perry Few and Torian Gray, but I don't think Lovey was a big fan of me. I know he ended up.
To hear that, man.
Yeah, we get a lot of mixed stuff nowadays on Lovey, man. Like us as fans gotta love Lovey, especially after getting us the #1 pick this past season too.
So you're saying Lovey wasn't as into you. What about when you went to New England? Was Belichick more of a Brandon McGowan guy?
Yes, I love that guy.
Really?
He gave me a shot right off the bat.
Good. That's good.
Bill was a mastermind as far as giving you his mind. It wasn't. Bill is not the coach that just say, "Go out there and do this." And it's just because I said do this, that's what I want you to do. Bill is the coach that tells you, okay, this is the play we're gonna run, but this is why I want to run this play, because this is what I'm expecting from them offensively or even defensively, you know? So he gives you the why to everything. And if you give a person the why to everything, it makes it a little bit easier as far as going out there and doing your job and preparing easier. So you get to understand the actual game and get into his mind. He played a lot of situational football, and that's all football is. Football is a whole bunch of situations. And Bill, in practice, we ran through every situation possible, you know?
Absolutely.
So I love that guy, Bill. And like I said, he plays you to your strengths. He don't put you in, if he feels as though you're weak in one area, he's not going to put you in that area or not put you in that predicament. He's always going to put you to all your strengths. And that's why if you ever look at a lot of Bill Belichick guys, they excel in his system, but when they go to other places,
they struggle.
You really don't hear about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patricia, McDaniel, like a lot of people seem to kind of fall apart. And why do you think that is exactly, Brandon?
That's, to me, I just think, as coaching, it's hard to replicate that. And obviously they're not doing well this year, but when you, as far as coaching, I can be under somebody for so long, but when it's my turn to get on top, you really don't understand, or you really don't know how he did. Well, I'm not saying how, but understanding his mind, because Bill is just, when I say a mastermind, and he uses every little trick to win, For instance, to me, when I played in New England, and then we ended up coming back here to play, and we played Chicago. Right after that first game, that Sunday, that Monday morning, Bill called me in his office, and I broke down Chicago's defense, because obviously I was in it for 4 years. So I ended up breaking it down. And that was the thing with Chicago. They never changed their calls as far as signals. So I gave him, even Brady, he comes in the meeting too. I gave him all the signals. And I told him, if you speed them up quickly, they're going to have to start using the signals to let the defenses know what they're in. They broke it down, and if you go back and look at that year, we beat the brakes off Chicago.
I remember, 36
I remember that. That was the one where Tom Brady skirt on Brian Urlacher.
No, that was
no.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, that was a little earlier.
No, JB, in 2010.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Brandon, I think you were injured at the time.
Yes, I was injured. I ended up tearing my pec, actually.
Yikes! But hey, you contributed to that win. That's for sure. No question.
I know, Brandon. We got a couple of questions in the chat too. I wanted to break down. A lot of people are showing love for you right now.
Yeah,
already.
So I got our guy Keith Sperry was wondering why. What was the decision you made? Why didn't you want to stay at home?
For me, to get away from some of the distractions, my group of friends, my childhood friends, is a rough batch of friends,
That's a good reason right there, yeah.
So for me, I wanted to, step away a little bit.
All right, let's get to, there was another one too. Sorry, I got knocked off here. All right, here we go. From Crazy Ace, who actually sent me this awesome video too, and he said, "Please send this to me." He's a fan. So I had to put that one up when I saw it. That's
remember that
awesome picture right there.
Of course, yes, indeed. That media day was just so fun, being down in Miami. They ended up, I was just so loud at the time, and just being myself. The camera crew, you see Channel 9, they ended up giving me a mic and just letting me do my thing and walk around and annoy other guys. So they enjoyed me annoying everybody. So
the first mic'd up.
Yes. So it was me and one of my other buddies, Jamar Williams. They ended up giving him the camera and giving me the mic. So he was the cameraman, and I was, I had the mic, and I was, how they have the star players, like they had Urlacher, Wale, Thomas Jones. They had them on in a little pedestal in a little booth up. I was interrupting the other media guys, telling them don't answer their questions, answer my questions. But I was asking, crazy or kiddish questions, like what's your favorite food? What kind of cereal do you like? So I was just in there just bugging, and
that's all. It's gotta have
fun. That's where that picture came from, because I was a little tired, so I sat down after a while because I was doing a bunch of running around.
You gotta have fun. So I mean, one of his questions was, do you follow the Bears still right now?
Well, hold on. Before we get into that, I gotta ask some more.
No, this was actually a question.
Oh, from
but I think
he wants to know: is there somebody?
Before we get into that,
that's when we get into that kind of thing. Like, we're gonna get into that.
Segue.
Okay, we'll come back to that one then. We got one more. Yeah, we got one more here.
Go ahead.
Which players would you say, like during your time with Chicago, were the most down to earth and just fun to be around and be yourselves with?
No, that says too full of themselves, and I don't think he can answer that.
Man, it's a.
You don't have to answer the too full with themselves.
It's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that I thought was down to earth and really good people. Rasheed Davis, that was my roommate actually.
Rasheed.
Yeah, we got.
That was my roommate when I first came in. Actually, we came in together. You know, man, Rasheed, and he's been up front, been real a stand-up guy, and that's still a good friend to this day. You know, and actually, he lives 5 minutes away from me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Let's see. Peanut was a good dude. Real down-to-earth person.
We hear that also. Peanut was one of those guys, though.
My homie Briggs, another good dude. Alex Brown, another good dude. Wale Agunle, another good dude. Izzy, another good dude. R.I.P. my homie, man. This is my homeboy out here in Chicago. Said Benson. That was my dog, man. That was my dog, man. So. But yeah, here in Chicago, man, it was the team was phenomenal. I love the team atmosphere here in Chicago, you know.
Oh, no doubt.
Gotta ask you this, B. We know what Lovey was, and we know what Lovey was to us, and we know what Lovey was to some of you all players. But I want to dig into this Ron Rivera thing a little bit. Because your tenure, 4 years here, was there a true difference? What we see from the fan point on the field, was there a difference between Ron Rivera and your defense and Bob Babbage, who was your old linebackers coach and assistant head coach? I've never seen a linebackers coach who was an assistant head coach before Bob Babbage. Like, Bob Babbage had a lot of say. He had a lot of clout for some reason.
Bob Babbage only had a lot of clout because he was Lovey's boy.
And Ron Rivera was not.
No, Ron was.
Ron played here. Ron got a ring.
Yes,
So.
Ron was a phenomenal coach. I love Ron because he understood the game. He was a player, so he understood us.
Right.
Ron Rivera might be a coach next year. Let's not forget that. He might be a coach next year.
And to me, though, if you look at it, when we got rid of Ron, we ain't do too well lately. After that, after getting rid of Ron, we didn't do too well.
3 years was kind of sus. They was kind of sus. Real talk. And no shade to y'all, because you can only go with the philosophy of your coordinator, right?
Correct.
When y'all have Ron's intensity mixed with Lovey's cover two scheme seemed to be a perfect match.
Mm-hmm.
Then like Babbage took y'all intensity away. And tell me if I'm wrong, but this is just me watching on TV and reading articles. Like, he kind of took y'all edge away.
It wasn't that he took our edge away. It was just like, man.
Like, y'all wasn't
like, I remember one game.
Turnovers were down.
Because we played one coverage majority of the time. When you playing cover two 95% of the time, that shit sucks. Ron mixed a lot of coverages in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I know cover two was our thing, but we disguised really well, messing with Ron.
Blitz.
So when we blitz really well, but when you disguise really well and you confuse the offense, it makes it so much easier. That's how you get the easy turnovers. Because if we're playing cover three, but it looked like we're in cover two, yes, you tricking the quarterback, you know. But with Bob, you can run. I done been on the field with Bob where we ran shit cover two like 10 times in a row, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Y'all seem so robotic, man. Like, I'm not making this up. This is just my eye and my memory. Like, y'all didn't have no freedom. It was like wait, what? We getting beat by teams we know we shouldn't have lost to? Like, man.
Right.
I always wondered that because, like I said, and we knew Ron Rivera was going to get a job based just solely off the numbers of y'all. Your rookie year, 11-5, if I'm not mistaken. 11-5, right? Lost in the divisional round. That's when Steve Smith went crazy.
Yeah,
right?
I remember that one.
Then the next year, 13-3, we went to the Super Bowl. So we knew Ron Rivera time was short. But I didn't think y'all was going to get Bob Babbitt, man. I knew he was in-house linebackers coach. Like, we read articles and stuff. I didn't know.
Yeah, but with Ron, with his time here, you don't get rid of him though for somebody else. Being
he ended up. Wait, I might be mistaken, but was his journey? He got fired, landed a linebackers position coach, then went to the Carolina Panthers and became the head. Not the Carolina. Yeah, went to Carolina.
He went to Carolina.
He went to the Chargers after the Bears in 07. He went to the
Chargers.
Chargers.
That's what he went to the Chargers first, and then he went
as
to
a linebackers coach, right?
And he was DC there for a little while too.
He was the defensive coordinator there.
And then he went to the Carolina Panthers. Okay.
Yep. And Ron is
house, man.
Phenomenal coach. Him. I don't know if we got rid of Tobe, or if Tobe left.
Tobe was all right.
Dave Tobe was a special teams coach.
Who should have been a head coach like John Harbaugh.
What did happen to Tobe? Was he just not re-signed?
Don't get me the line. I don't even know, but Dave Tobe, I love Dave Tobe.
Did he go to Denver? I know he went somewhere else because
pretty sure he
no, he's with the Chiefs. He's with the Chiefs.
No. I'm saying when he left us.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you exactly where he went when he left us.
He went to the Chiefs because a lot of people were saying he should have been a head coach, similar to how John Harbaugh was a special teams coach and went to a head coach. Hell, Mike Ditka was a special teams coach and became a head coach. Our beloved 85 Bears coach. Like, don't knock the special teams now, y'all. Everybody be like, it's two sides of the ball. No, it's three.
It's three. That's right.
Hey, sometimes, and Brandon, you could speak more to this. People cut their teeth and get their chances off of special teams, right? I love special teams, man.
There's a lot of successful coaches that came. That's where Belichick came with special teams. There's a lot of successful coaches that are special teams.
Just the play, like to run down and expect a car collision every single play.
That's why I think special teams, they can become great head coaches because with special team coaches, they see everybody from offensive players, defensive players, because both sides of the ball play special team. Majority of us are defensive players, but the dog offensive guys, they play special teams as well. So being at the special team coaches, they see everyone. They evaluate everyone, not just the offensive guys, not just the defensive guys. So that's why I think special team coaches are good. They can become good head coaches.
That makes sense. You're seeing the guys you're seeing who's got a nose for the ball first, right? Like you're seeing a lot of the guys who are trying to make the team by, playing special teams, I guess. That's interesting. I never thought of it like that.
Yes.
Huh.
I like that what you said, because now the evaluation is literally production. It's not how you fit in my system. It's not how it's literally from special teams production and can you play football? I like that. And that might be, you know what? That might be why John Harbaugh is as successful as he is, because his vision is different.
Yeah, true.
He's kind of uniquely situated.
I like it, but here we go again. I mean, Tobe should have got his shot, but
yeah, he should. But
yeah, he left for KC after Chicago.
And I'm not mad at him. Like, can anybody be mad at Dave Tobe for that? Like,
no.
A Q in my eyes? A question? I don't have a question. Not right now. Well, I do actually, but
you do. Ask.
I think. Yeah. Well, no, I do want to eventually get.
Man, he answering. Ask the question, man.
Well, no, I do want to eventually get on that segue and talk a little bit about just
current Bears,
the future Bears, right? Like, I want to talk a little bit about what was crazy? I think it was Ace's question, or just the idea. Yeah, like first of all, Brandon, like, do you like football still? Are you still a football
There are
fan?
a lot. He only asked that because there are a lot of people who played who don't really watch football anymore.
Yeah, no, like, and I
You
totally
said,
get
do
it.
you like football? Hell yeah.
I know you said it like
I still love the game of football.
Like, some people it's just a job, and I guess like, are you still like? Do you follow the Bears? Like, do you keep up with the current NFL?
Yeah, I keep up with the current NFL. Like I said, I still love the game of football. I coach my son, so
nice.
And
How old is he?
I got a 12-year-old. Well, he just turned 13. He's a 7th grader, and the coaches nowadays at that level is horrendous. So I didn't want my son being taught bad football, So that's one of the reasons why I
one question.
enjoy the coaching.
In Mundelein, 13, got some skill. I know you because you his dad. Is he going to Carmel?
Yep, I have a junior at Carmel.
See,
All right.
he with J-Mac?
Yep, he with J-Mac now. Yep.
Hey, that's dope, man.
I try to help them out when I can. When I'm not with the younger guys, I go, to their practices and try to help out when I can.
Tell us more. He played DB or?
Yeah, he played DB. He a safety. He's a junior. He'll be a senior this coming year.
We got to look out.
Hitter like you.
Definitely got to look out. Shout out.
Nah, I ain't gonna say all that. He a finesser.
He a finesser.
He a finesser.
And that's pretty much like the modern era football players need to be right now, because the way you hit back then, like, probably sometimes would be penalties nowadays. It's
you'll
get people like that nowadays.
Hey man, like, again, I wish we could show that again. Like, dude, AB, when you hit the bus, when you hit Bettis like that, man.
They're trying to ban that kind of hit, I think. The low hit.
Right, because it was the low hit. But hell, the bus was what, 5'11", 260?
How else are you supposed to tackle him?
Like,
Urlacher went high and Urlacher got posterized. All right. Like, what are you supposed to do? I think Brandon took the smart route. And
I take, for me, it's all about angles, hitting people in the right area where they can't take another step to keep going, And that's one of the things as a kid, I always been taught that because I wasn't a big kid. So I was a smaller kid even throughout high school. I just had the heart to hit anybody, whether you were big or small, But my uncle Broderick, he was my youth football coach, so he helped me out a lot, as far as me being a kid and just teaching me the angles of football and the angles on tackling.
Of course.
Can you maybe throw some of that towards the Bears nowadays, because we can't tackle worth a shit?
It's been a little better.
It has been better. All right.
It's been better these last few weeks, though. I know at the beginning of the season, it was horrendous, but that was due to injuries and things like that. But now the defense is starting to get healthy, so the defense lately, they've been playing really well, actually, though.
Hey, I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat, Brian. Hey, Keith, you out of order, man. At 10:08, Keith gonna talk about Colorado. They are losing everyone to the portal. Hey man, Keith. Hey, love you, Keith. We keep talking offline all the time, but leave that alone.
So break down the Bears defense now. What is your take on our coaching staff? Because in case you watch our panel week to week, we are not a fan.
Not fans.
We're not fans at all of our coaching staff. Some of us, like me and EZ, have given Eberflus his credit lately because he is pretty much coaching our defense now because we lost our DC, and our defense has, how you said, gotten a lot better.
I think he handled a tough situation with the defense pretty well with Alan Williams. It was really weird shit early in the year, and I think he deserves his credit for that. But I'm not the biggest fan of the guy. But yeah, we'd love to get your take.
I think you got a clean house for me,
Yeah, I like it. That's what we want to, man. It just start over. But I mean, I hate to flip it over to the other side so quickly, but are you cleaning house and still keeping your quarterback?
Yeah, see, for me, I tell everybody, man, if you got to look at all the quarterbacks that's similar to him. So the Kyler Murrays, the Lamar Jacksons, even the Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Look at the offenses these guys in.
I know.
Thank you. They're
in offenses to their strengths. For us, we don't. That's one thing that's why I credit Belichick about. He puts his players in great position to succeed. As far as he puts you in position for your strength. So I guarantee you, if Justin Fields was over there in New England, they'll be running a total different offense.
Adaptability.
That's pretty much what we've been saying and everything too. And it's just to the point where, like, if I was a fly in the interview room this offseason and you got rid of Eberflus and you brought in a coach, if that coach comes in and says, yeah, my system will fit great, I'd slap the shit out of him, say, get the fuck out. And I will wait for a person to come in and say, I will build an offensive system around Justin Fields, not build him into my system.
And that's what you need. You got to build around him and don't just put him in unless you bringing that Baltimore offense in here or you bringing that Philly offense in here.
And they have the defense too.
Yes, they do. Both of them, Philly and Baltimore, they have the defense.
Can I push back on one thing?
Push it.
And this is what I want to just, Brandon, I just want to push back on this because you said a guy like Bill Belichick, who the Bears had a chance to take, and they took Dick Duran, but we don't want to revisionist history or whatever. But currently, do you feel that they're not doing justice, I'll say the word justice, by Justin, by not having an offense that's catered and tailored to what he does best? Because what we see is Luke Getsy says, this is my system. Either run it and look like I want you to look, or don't run it and look bad. And to me, that's a recipe for disaster.
Correct. And you can see that with a whole bunch of quarterbacks. A lot of quarterbacks are system quarterbacks, you know. Certain system, even on defense, certain players fit certain systems, you know. So with quarterbacks, if you got a pocket quarterback, obviously you're going to be a pocket. You're going to have a different type of offense, you know. But if you're a running quarterback, you got to do other things to be successful when you got a quarterback that can really use his legs, you know.
As a defensive player, what do you think what do you prefer to prepare for, and what do you think is easier to play against between, like pocket, running quarterbacks?
For me, I want you to sit in that pocket. Sit in that pocket.
That's what I figure, right?
I don't want you to run around. Because once you start running around, you got the receivers that's going to start doing these stupid routes going all over the place. So I want you to stay in the pocket and get comfortable.
Yep. That checks out. Mike Glennon. Why are you commenting Mike Glennon, JB?
That's the easiest quarterback to defend against because he ain't going.
Yeah, he doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, there's statue. Like he's, I think I've seen statues move more than Glennon did.
Absolutely. And that's why I brought that up, because now what we're hearing here, Brandon, you hear it in local media when you listen to like ESPN 1000 and 670 and those guys down the dial. Like they're so adamant in what we should do in the draft quarterback wise, as opposed to looking at what you have right now with Justin and trying to build. So I want to ask you, currently as constructed, what would you do with the draft with those two picks that we get? Now, we know we're all but guaranteed number one. It has
pretty
to be
much
like
guaranteed
kind of
number
miracle that we don't get number one.
Yeah, they're all
guaranteed number one. Carolina doesn't have a coach right now. But let's say the Bears fall to 3. What are you doing in the draft this year? Are you drafting?
I'm going to get a top receiver, man. Give him some help.
Hey, so you're going to get Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I'm going to get some help. Got to get this guy some help, man.
Like it. That's what we were saying.
Brandon, love you, brother, and I need you to be on the show more because your wisdom is what we've been trying to say. Forget, and you know this just from your time. The media is so influential on what organizations tend to do, which I don't understand. But right now, don't give me Caleb Williams and a hope and a prayer. Give me Justin as a veteran of 3 years, get some proper coaching and some tutelage here, and get a dog so I can give somebody to compliment DJ, and let's go do some damage.
Yeah, and all
See, to me though, you bring in another quarterback, like say you bring in Williams, right?
Uh-huh.
You put him in the same offense. To me,
same shit.
The same thing that is going to happen.
Yep.
No weapons. What are you going to do? Obviously, DJ Moore. DJ Moore is nice, but
DJ Moore's not fit for this system though either. That guy's a down the field threat.
I think DJ Moore can fit pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. DJ can fit. He fits here, but it's everybody else. I don't think the other receivers. We got a whole bunch of. DJ Moore is a B+ receiver, and then you got a whole bunch of D+ receivers. That don't work.
With this scheme, we do agree. Tyler Scott and Darnell Mooney are not blockers for this system. Like when you throw that to Ayuk or to Debo, that's different. They're built different.
No, they're big.
Those blockers and those schemes are built different. Trent Williams is different. Braxton Jones ain't getting out there, man, to handle that. He not. And now when you keep giving these short passes to DJ, in 2 years, DJ gonna be like, man, you think I'm resigning with you? You lost your damn mind.
Yeah, you're gonna keep giving.
He's gonna go somewhere where they're gonna throw him the ball vertically, extend his career, and get us some bread.
It's gonna be an Allen Robinson situation.
Yeah.
And also, like, so you say you draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and we still haven't, assuming we still have another top 10 pick. Are you going offensive line? Are you going Brock Bowers? You going like what route are you going?
If you draft Brock Bowers right now, you just said basically you gave a middle finger to Cole Kmet.
Or you're saying let's run 12 personnel all game.
I'm going to get some help on, blockers. You need blockers,
Or a defensive pass rusher. You're either getting a pass rusher or an offensive tackle. That's the only two options with your next pick.
See,
for me right now, I stay offense. I'm offensive. I'm offensive heavy right now.
I like Joe Alt. He's fierce.
I like Joe Alt because he reminds me, he's got that Quentin Nelson edge to him.
Yeah, he's like nasty.
He's nasty. Darnell Wright is nasty.
I think you
give me a nasty right tackle and a nasty left tackle and make Braxton Jones the swing and Larry Borum the field. Like we working with something.
I feel like Joe Alt and Tevin Jenkins next to each other. Like that's not you don't want to fuck with a line like that.
Yeah. You don't.
Yeah. Not at all.
Let me Brandon, I wanted to ask you this one question too before we let you go, because this is something
that let him go already.
No, I'm just saying in case he has to go, because it's getting late now, man.
My bad, B.
Y'all Gucci.
But like with you being in the defensive backfield, all right, and say you're on a defense that blitzes more than 50% of the time, we'll just say. What would you expect the other offense to do, whereas your secondary that you would try to guard?
Get the ball out quick. So for me, depending on, formations and what receiver I'm going against, I'm sitting on routes because I'm expecting the ball to come out quick, But only sitting on routes just depending on what receiver I'm covering, because some guys, take that 3-step and go vertical on you. So you got to be prepared for that as well, But majority of the time, if we're a blitzing defense, I'm sitting majority of the time, just depending on who I'm covering. Obviously, you got to read the scouting report, but majority of the time, I'm expecting our guys to hit home.
Okay, because that's where I was going with this. Would you expect to see this the entire game? That is literally like almost every single pass within 2 yards. That is what our offensive coordinator calls. But wouldn't you think another hard thing to guard? Because when you're pressing on a blitz, wouldn't this just be a normal, Madden 2001 type play that would be effective on people who are blitzing all the time?
That just depends on how that DB is playing, you know.
Because this guy has run 3 slant plays all season.
Well, the problem is when they do that screen now, they've been coming up in press man, so they're pushing off their blocks, and that's why the screens aren't working.
But wouldn't you just, when you have a speedster, stay like a DJ Moore, or say like Darnell Mooney's got speed? We got a lot of speedsters who could just easily get a 5 cut, hit him in the run, and he's gone.
Yeah, but some of these guys, man, like I said, when you got D+ receivers, they don't be open sometimes.
But I would think DJ Moore would be. But you're 100% true on it.
DJ Moore, yeah. DJ Moore, he gets open. He gets open because he can get off the press. He can run all of the route tree. But we don't allow him to run all of the route tree.
Thank you.
You get a guy like Marvin Jr. in there.
Second best blocker
then you got
in the
2
NFL,
guys.
Lorenzo, just a heads up.
Then you got
Second
2 guys
best
who
played
can
on
run the whole
blocker in
route
the
tree.
NFL. Remember that. Everyone's got to hate on my Notre Dame Komet guy. Everyone's got to hate on him.
I like Komet. I think he's a solid.
I like Komet though. I like Komet.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't hate on Komet. I like Komet.
He's a horrible blocker because he misses 1 out of every 50.
Yeah, occasionally he gets bull rushed by like a great pass rusher, and we're like, Chicago fans are like, oh, he's terrible. No, why was he blocking 1-on-1 against Hassan Reddick? Like,
why don't you chip and then release? There's a thought.
No, right? Genius. But
yeah, but if you look at the blocking period in the NFL, a lot of 1-on-1s get missed.
That's with everybody. I just watched the Chiefs.
Not the Eagles.
What's his name? Jawan Taylor missed a lot of 1-on-1s. Yeah. This was just the other.
These defensive pass rushers are just too damn good now.
Look, the Eagles. The Eagles got their ass kicked, but Lane Johnson owned Bosa. That's one thing I will say. Like that's
and that's a hurt Lane Johnson too.
Yep. Yeah, Lane Johnson's one of those tough guys. He plays through anything.
Brandon, I want to ask you this because right now we're all in agreement with that number 1 pick, Carolina's pick. You take Marvin Harrison Jr. Period. You get 2 dogs. Let's borrow. But with that second pick that we have in the first round, a lot of people say trade it, get a haul because there's going to be somebody behind us that want a quarterback, possibly Washington. Right now, depending on which is why I'm going back earlier to what Crooked Commit said, we kind of might not want to beat Arizona. We might actually want to lose that game because we're 5th right now. The Patriots are 2nd. Belichick, he's a wild card, so I cannot say he's actually going to draft a quarterback. But you played with him, so you kind of know how his psyche is. Do you think we should trade that pick? And not trade out, just trade back, because the only team that actually has 2 first-round picks this year is Arizona, because Arizona gets the Texans pick. So there is no team that's got 2 high-quality picks in Arizona, unless they go to like 5th or something and we're 2nd or 3rd, is not going to trade 2 first-round picks to us. So do you feel at that 4th, 5th, 3rd, should we just draft Joe Alt? Or should we draft my man from Penn State? I can't say his name right, but it's like Olamuyiwa Fashanu.
Yeah, he's nice, but I'm going to get the best offensive lineman.
Well, Joe Alt, let me be clear. Joe Alt is rated number 1. Fashanu is slightly behind him because he's more athletic.
Yes.
He also plays against better talent too, from what they say.
Well, I mean,
you play better
Notre Dame, Penn State. I mean,
we play more talented people at Penn State.
Notre Dame, but you got J.C. Latham to play for Alabama too. Like, don't forget about him.
Yeah, he's nice too.
So one of those 3, I don't think you can miss. But is that a guarantee to you, or if you're like in your put your GM hat on, do you feel like you have to trade that pick? Because remember, we don't have a 2nd round pick, so do we have to trade that pick to get something in the 2nd round? Because we also need a center, and for some reason, people don't listen to me. I gotta get Alex Van Pren from Georgia some kind of way.
You're not getting him unless you're trading that number 4 pick.
Yeah, you gotta trade to go get him. Yeah, but for me, like I said,
you would do it right. You would do it right because everything else seems to be solid.
I would.
For me, like I said, I'm trying to go get the next best offensive lineman that's going to fit our scheme.
Well, if Getsy's going, then that scheme is null and void.
Yeah, but it depends on who you bring in.
In my opinion, if you bring in somebody that's going to be more of a vertical passing threat, you need a Joe Alt or a Fasani at left tackle. You need somebody that's going to be able to maul in the run, but protect Justin as well.
Yeah. You need to go get a Trent Williams.
There you go. Like that.
Yeah,
and that's what we're hoping. Like Joe Alt remind me a lot. Y'all remember Joe Thomas that used to play for the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah, played for the Browns. Yeah.
Okay.
Joe Alt remind me a lot of him.
Joe Thomas is the best offensive tackle of this generation.
He reminds me of him.
Great. Then let's get him.
Jordan is his name Jordan, the Hawaiian kid in
Malata?
Malata. Like he's like that.
I think
like why not get that kid, right? Like what are we doing?
No, I'm with it. I think he's from Australia, but yes.
And no center in my recollection has ever went that high in the first round, right? That high, 1 through 5. So how do we jump back into the second round and we get Van Print and just like let's be done with this? It's not rocket science. We make it so hard.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean,
that's just the top of the top of the Bears organization. They have to go.
The hedge fund guys, the guys that don't know football. See,
the nerds who play on their computers.
We keep it real around here, BC. You can say whatever you want, and you're cool. You safe, you protected. My thing is this: when you finally got a freaking football guy,
Kevin Warren,
and Ryan Poe's a football guy, let them do football things.
When your president of operations is watching your football team play like this, I don't think he's happy.
Oh, he's pissed off.
I don't think he's happy. And this is his first year where I feel like he's actually paying attention now.
When you break the vase and mama tell you don't play the ball in the house, and she be like, oh, hell no. That's what that look was. And right now, if I'm looking and I'm Eberflus or Getsy, I'm looking like, hey, man, we got 5 games to audition for our next job. Period.
Also, like who are you bringing in, Brandon? Like, as if you could pick anyone to be the head coach of the Bears that's available, who would you want to be the Bears coach?
Ron Rivera might be available by then.
And that's a hard question.
He might be available, Ron Rivera.
I don't think we want to go that route.
I don't think we go that route though.
I would take him as a DC.
Sure.
Would he come back? You know Ron personally. Would he come back as a DC? Hell, he got to have a job too.
But I want to know who you want.
But I think somebody else to give him a shot. Because if you look at what he's done with Washington, they don't have no fucking body over there either.
They compete every game.
And
they're always in games.
With Carolina. He went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And damn near won.
That was a bullshit game too.
Yes.
Can't nobody tell me Ron Rivera
I'm going to throw out some names here for you. Like, would you, I know JB's not going to want to hear this. He's down there. But would you take the run at Jim Harbaugh? Jim Harbaugh supposedly is in conversations with Chicago. Supposedly. Nobody knows if that crap is true.
I'm all for it.
I'm run shit all the time. But according to Chicago, Jim Harbaugh said he would only leave Michigan if it was for the Chicago Bears.
I don't think Jim's gonna fit the scheme of Justin Fields.
Even if you went out and got an actual OC, though, who can fit the scheme as Justin Fields.
But you got to put those two things together.
Yeah, true. Jim Harbaugh would want to come here and bring somebody with him.
So like I'm cool with an offensive-minded guy that can
we'll
build around Justin Fields.
Yeah, we're gonna throw out another name for you. Eric Bieniemy. He is.
I like Eric. I like Eric. Right? I like Eric though. I like Eric.
I think Eric should have a shot. He needs a shot.
Yeah, he does. He does. You know, and there's a few of us that, you know,
whisperer too.
Get a few chances, and we only last a few games.
That's true.
Cause I was a little upset when they got rid of
Vance Joseph. I can name a lot of
them. My guy out of Miami before they brought in
Brian Flores.
Brian Flores. Flores was doing a phenomenal job, man. He was doing a phenomenal job.
I love
Brandon. That is my third on the list right there. Flores is available too.
Same.
But the thing is, you got to give these guys a chance, you know. Flores,
I feel like, I mean, he had his chance. I love what he did, but that style of coaching, I feel like it's just non-existent anymore. It's unfortunate, but it's just non-existent anymore. People have become soft nowadays where they can't take the pressure that is put on them.
Yes.
I'm on your side with that, JB, but that's unfortunately how I feel like it is because you don't see any.
Yeah, that's just the new generation, though. You know,
it is.
And that's football right now. That's why football is so soft right now.
Flores is like that or that dude from Remember the Titans.
You get fined for everything. You get flagged for everything. Yeah. You can't even look at the quarterback wrong, or you go get fined for that. So,
by the way, like, how's that working out for the league? So many quarterbacks are injured. Burrow's out. Lawrence is out. Rodgers is out. Like, so many guys have gone down this year, despite all these rules to protect the quarterback. Just like maybe a lot of this stuff is just superfluous, and they're just doing it because they think, because it looks like they're trying to help, but really, like, who are they helping?
Well, I always say that with preseason too. Like, they never allowed.
If I'm not mistaken, Burrow got hurt. He was hurt outside of football and just re-injured it.
True.
In football.
He tweaked it. Yeah, he retweaked it.
Tweaked it. So he's a little different. But like I said, if you go back and watch what Jim Harbaugh did with Colin Kaepernick, like, it's not like he set the world on fire with passing. You know, he didn't have 4,000 yards. Like I said, combined, I want to say he had about 3,700. Again, please, anybody out there, fact check me. I want to say he had about 3,200 yards passing, about 500 yards rushing, or some mix of the two. But Jim Harbaugh, his message gets very stale after 3 to 4 years, and he also wants a lot of control. It's like he wants Belichick control. Like, let me be the coach and the GM.
But he's also maniacal about winning.
Yeah, because that's even with all head coaches, man, you should be able to bring in who you want to bring in, who you think that's going to fit your system, your style of play.
And I agree, but right now, if you brought in Jim Harbaugh today, would we say that Justin Fields fits his philosophy better than Drake May, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix Jr.? I would say yes. But that doesn't mean that Ryan Poles wants to go in that direction.
You're not wrong.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's more than just a one-part system here.
I also think it's Kevin Warren has a lot to say in this.
Well, he hasn't said
much. We're hoping he has a lot to say.
Well, look, I mean, when we talk about the Cubs, we talk about Jed Hoyer and Carter Hawkins, the president and the GM.
But see,
we should do the same with the Bears.
Here's the only thing that I will give Harbaugh credit for. Remember, he was only in Carolina. He was only in San Francisco for 4 years. His best year statistically ever was with Alex Smith as his quarterback. Remember this, y'all. Alex Smith. Then he went from Alex Smith. He went to Colin Kaepernick. He went to the Super Bowl with that defense.
Mid-season. Oh no, you're right.
Because remember, I know I'm right.
Yeah.
And then last year he got fired, but sources say it was a mutual a partner
agreement.
Because
hold on, fellas. Hey, I'm gonna go fill my glass up. I'll be back.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, dude,
he had disagreements with management, and they just said they're firing him. And I want to say, look it up. Easy, what they go 7-9, 8-8, something like that. San Francisco.
Oh no, they weren't. I think they went 8-8 that last year.
8-8 that last year, right? And then Harbaugh mysteriously just walked away, and Michigan was like, "Hey man, we'll give you $100 million." He was like, "I'm going back home."
And the Niners immediately went into a tailspin until they brought in Shanahan.
Well, remember when Mike Singletary took over, he had shambles. That team wasn't the same. I said that team wasn't the same.
Yeah, well, not at all. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the coach was gone. Also, Jim Tomsula wasn't much better. Let's be
well, no, not just that, but that they took the team and tore it apart. The 49ers didn't get back good until John Lynch became their GM.
That's true. That is very true.
They went through a spell where somebody was just throwing you know what at the wall and hoping it sticks. Like Vernon Davis was your best player forever, and then Mike Singletary says, "Can't play with him, can't win with him. I'd rather play with 10."
Yeah, that's a good impression, by the way. But then and I'm just looking at that 2014 Niners and the year
I'm
before.
not even looking it up. I'm just talking off of memory. I'm trying to remember.
I know, but what I'm saying is like also Harbaugh did have Greg Roman in there. Greg Roman did a good job with Kaepernick. Did a great job with Lamar Jackson.
Greg Roman is he's a good offensive coordinator. The only thing is he runs his quarterbacks too much, which is why Lamar Jackson didn't like him because he kept getting hurt.
Exactly. And that's why I'd hope that Harbaugh would have learned, like if he were to come in, that he'd learn a little bit, like that he'd learn his lesson a little bit and be like, all right, we're not going to, go out of our way to run Justin Fields this much. Harbaugh's never coached a mobile QB. That's not true.
Colin Kaepernick.
Alex Smith was mobile.
He went to the Super Bowl with a mobile.
No, Alex Smith could run, but Alex Smith was what? You know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. Alex Smith would fit well in Getsy's offense.
Well, yes, but also he did. Because it does require the quarterback to run a little bit. And I remember Alex Smith,
check down guy.
Yes, but he's also like he was pretty mobile.
I didn't say he wasn't. He was mobile as hell in Utah. I remember Alex Smith, number one of our picks.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, how'd that work out? Alex Smith over Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, not so good. Not so good.
San Francisco could have had 3, 4, 5 more championships.
Easily. Yeah, that's But then again, we probably should have drafted him too that year, but whatever.
You don't say.
There's a lot of people who passed on that piece of shit.
You don't say.
I hate that guy.
I don't hate him.
Well, you only hate him because he's a Packer. That's the only reason why I hate him.
Well, yes, I hate him because he's good at football and he always beats the Bears. That's fair.
Yeah.
Hey, you know who else is good in football right now? Jordan Love.
Yeah, Jordan Love looks real good. He's sharp.
Him too for the next 15 years.
He had one good game again.
No,
he's had.
Dude, they just won what did they win? Easy 4 out of the last 5 or something like that.
Yeah, they won like 4 out of 5. Jordan Love, he's got like 800 yards,
like 200 yards passing, other than last game.
No,
he's putting up Justin Fields.
His last 3 games, I want to say he's got 8 touchdowns to no.
But I'm also going to say this.
Don't make me defend Jordan Love.
No. Jordan Love's not better than
Justin 900 yards and 8 touchdowns and no picks in the last 3 games.
Jordan Love is not better than Justin Fields. Just LaFleur is a good freaking coach. I would have loved all that commotion of them saying, "Oh my God, the Packers are losing. They're playing like this. We need to fire our head coach." I would have prayed to the gods that they would have fired their head coach.
Hey, guess what?
I would have picked him up.
He's got 8 touchdowns the past 3 games. Completing about 68% of his passes, over 250 yards in each of them, 320 against the Chargers. They're scoring 23 points, 29 points, 27 points.
He's been put in the right position. And you want to know the crazy thing is, I knew you were going to say that because I looked it up, and this is not a knock on him.
I ain't look up shit.
It's a knock on our coaching staff again as well. 70% of his passes are slants. 70%.
Guess what? That's LaFleur being smart.
I know. I would love to have fucking.
Guess what? Let me put this out to you. If you look at what LaFleur is doing with Jordan Love right now, and they take a lot of shots too. If you pay attention, they take a lot of
They do. They wait for their opportunities and they take their
time. Guess what? Getsy cannot be running Matt LaFleur's offense because you know what he doesn't do? He doesn't screen you to death.
Oh, the all-time favorite. I don't think Brandon has seen our all-time favorite meme. That is the Luke Getsy offense right there.
How about this? How about this great offensive play? Let's check this out.
Oh God!
That's why we're getting the number 1 pick.
Yep, that's why we're getting it. Thank you, Carolina. God bless.
We can always say we're not a Carolina.
Frank, I think it's time to pay one more bill. Don't we got one more?
We can get one more.
I think we got one more.
I played 2 of them. I don't think we really had one more.
I thought we had one more. No?
Do we have that? I don't know if he ever put up that vision.
It never came up? Oh, okay. Maybe not.
I don't know if he ever made it yet. I know he had it up, but then he deletes shit. He probably deleted the shit that we should have and keeps the shit
I
that we should.
I don't know where T Nick is, Brandon.
He's on the beach in California watching the freaking moon come up and shit right now.
He's in California right now, man. Good Lord.
Yeah.
But okay, so if we don't have that other commercial, that's fine. We will talk on the back end. Brandon, we wanted to ask you this question. Moving forward, because we've seen the success of a CJ Stroud, we've seen the success of a Jordan Love right now. To a small degree, we've seen a little bit of success from Anthony Richardson before he got hurt.
Yeah.
And a little bit of success from Will Levis. Not as much, but we know Will Levis can play.
He had a great game against the Falcons.
But we know Will Levis can play.
He can throw.
He can throw.
He's a gunslinger.
What do you think developmental-wise? Who would you pair with Justin right now to keep him? Who in your mind?
I know.
No, as far as,
you want him to pick first, but I got my name ready.
As far as coaching,
yeah, because he needs some coaching up because Getsy ain't in.
Man, I can't even think of his last name, but Henry.
Give me the team.
He used to be a quarterback here in Chicago.
Henry Burris?
Is that Henry's last name?
Henry played. He went and won three championships in the CFL or 2
in the CFL. Yes,
that's Henry Burris.
He'll be a phenomenal. And I know Henry. You know, I actually just met him.
Quarterback's coach for Justin.
I just met him a couple months ago.
Lorenzo says yes. Okay.
His son is actually at Stevenson High School. He plays football at Stevenson High School. They're all training together. My son, his son, with Rasheed Davis. You know, just doing little training things at night. And I ended up obviously meeting Henry and just listening to Henry talk about football. And
because Henry way after
from
you,
a quarterback perspective, I think that's somebody that they should bring in. And he ended up coming here to try out for that position. And they,
he beat Mark Kirk.
Because remember, Henry Burris
definitely a name people don't discuss. That's for sure.
No,
Henry Burris was after Tressman, or
they only brought him. They brought him in here, and then they.
So he just got the interview. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Talking to Henry,
he went somewhere else. He went to the CFL and won a couple of Grey Cups.
Yep, but just listening to Henry talk about how to mold the quarterback, man, it's interesting.
It's interesting. He's with the Rams right now. Yeah, he's working his way up. You know, like he.
Oh, he QC. He QC right now.
Well, he was QC for us in 21. Then he went to Canada. Was a consultant with the Lions, a BC Lions, and then he was quality control with the Jaguars, and then this year he's assistant tight end coach with the Rams.
Tight end.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of cool.
Definitely something I'm gonna have to look into.
No, that means he's coming because if he was QC with the Rams, then did a little dance and came back, and now he's tight ends coach, that means he's on his way.
He's moving.
He's assistant tight ends coach.
Brandon Lion, that means he's on his way.
Like, he's working his way up. It seems, and that's great. No, that's it.
And the Rams,
because man, when I was in New England, Brian Flores was a quality control guy.
He was your QC? No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I don't even know what QC means. That's my dream job.
Quality
control.
Yeah, that's what I think. Like quality control. Like what quality of what? Quality of players? Quality of like what do they?
You do whatever they need you to do. Whatever they need you to do, that's what you go do.
I could do that.
Getting film together.
Whispering to somebody.
Yes.
Tie Aaron Rodgers' shoes.
Your job is everything. Everything that they need you to do.
It's a fancy intern.
I like that.
Right.
I'm always that person because I'm seeing what.
Remember, Sean Desai was a quality control guy, then the defensive backs coach, and now he's the Eagles defensive coordinator. Who knew?
Right. Doing damn good job too.
When he was here, we were like, "Oh, this dude's terrible." But I just said that keeps sparing Sean Desai. But hey, what can we do? But I like Henry Burris as a QB coach. I like that because this Andrew Janoko kid, like, what the hell does he do?
Nothing.
No idea.
I'm that type of person where I'm seeing what CJ Stroud is doing in Houston. I'm seeing another young person coming off of a Shanahan tree. I want somebody off of a Kyle Shanahan tree.
Hey, that Shanahan tree is a great tree, man.
It's a great tree.
Yeah, I like that. Patrick
as far as the play calling and the schemes of how they block plays,
they do everything right.
Yes.
And that Patrick Hannigan, who's 7 years assistant offensive coordinator to Kyle Shanahan, I would just be like, what does it need to be to him be the head coordinator when we're here in Chicago? Love to have that.
And you know what? I think it's a reason why he hasn't left that yet.
I mean, he loves Shanahan. He's been offered jobs before, but he just wanted to stay with Kyle Shanahan. But when are you going to spread your wings and see if you got it, man?
That's right. Spread them.
That's not everybody's aspiration, though.
And you're not wrong on that. You're not wrong on that. Worth a phone call, at least, though, and an interview.
Correct.
But see, here's the thing. Forget Ryan Poles. If you're Kevin Warren, because that's the big boss, right? That's the big guy. Does he go to Ryan Poles and say, hey, this ain't working. I like what you did because not only did you get us players, you got us, you saved us a ton of money, got us hot draft. You've done in these 2 years, everybody got to say Ryan Poles has done yeoman's work. He's done a great job as a GM, with the exception of Velvet.
Correct.
With the exception of Velvet, and in my opinion, Braxton, and the way that I didn't like Brandon. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like the way they handled the Roquan Smith thing. I did not like it.
JB, I missed my cue, by the way.
Hi, I'm David Jones.
Velvet, about number 12. We talking about Velas, but we call him.
He's our Velvet. JB started that and it's taken off. We're gonna get a jersey made.
But what we're looking at, Brandon, is Poles hasn't had many misses. And
right.
Roquan situation, because you refuse to pay him 20. He goes over to Baltimore and he's showing his tail like he's looking like the next Ray Lewis. But then you go and pay Tremaine Edmonds 18.
And Tremaine and he's nice and all because he coming from Buffalo, but
better coverage.
Roquan sideline downhill. He gonna make it happen. I love Roquan.
I'm not denying that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in Eberflus's scheme, to my understanding, Roquan was asked to be more read and react, whereas he should be a guy that's just allowed to just kind of explode. Is that a layman's term way of explaining it?
Yeah, I can see that. That's my homie Lance Briggs.
Mm-hmm.
Lance Briggs ain't no tell me what to do guy. Lance Briggs go out there and make plays. He do his own thing. And majority of the time
he was right.
He was right. It wasn't his job though, but he was right.
And that's why I say, like, when I look at things, first of all, everybody on defense reads and reacts because that's just what defense is. But when you look at the production of what a Roquan gave us, saying, oh, he can't play middle linebacker. But you look at the production. Now, TJ Edwards is doing great, but TJ Edwards is making $6 million a year. Tremaine is making 18. It's a big difference. Like that's 3 times as much the money. Let's not play like that doesn't come into a factor. I need Tremaine Edmonds, 6'5", 260-pound tail, to get on some Urlacher shit.
Yep.
And he ain't been on it.
I would love for the coaches to use him like that. Though.
But that's not the scheme, though. That's not the scheme, though.
I was gonna say, Brandon, that's not the scheme.
Is to drop his big body in coverage.
Yes, that's not the scheme, you know.
That's the scheme, and I hate it.
And that's why I said Eberflus's cover 2 is not Lovey's. It's not.
It's a different version.
It seems like every time I go through highlights and I'm putting together Brandon McGowan tape or Alex Brown or whoever, it seems like every play you got Urlacher and Briggs in the A gap or just like on the line. And I don't see the Bears doing that as much nowadays. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, never.
Yeah, because when you hug them 2 A gaps, that line, that protection, they gotta account for you.
Mm-hmm.
And majority of the time, I ain't gonna say majority of the time, but a lot of the times for us, they hug the A gap so you can get the protection scheme that you want, get the one-on-ones up front, because you get the one-on-ones up front, majority of the time on the defensive line, we're gonna win.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So when you hug them A gaps, get them one-on-ones, and then you bail. You leave the quarterback obviously a little flustered. Some of them not. You got the great quarterbacks that read stuff like that, like Tom and Peyton, them guys, the Pat Mahomes. They read things like that. Yeah. But every quarterback's not on their level as far as mentally understanding the game and breaking down the defense and knowing what a defense is in. So when you do have those quarterbacks, they get flustered quick, and nowadays you can see it.
But see, Brandon, that's what I wanted to say, because some of the people are chiming in the chat. When you all ran Lovey's cover 2, it was an attacking Tampa 2 bend don't break. Eberflus's is a read and react cover 2. It's a difference because he barely blitzes, barely. Probably one of the what are we
like? Doing it a little more lately, I think.
Lately, but what are we, Frank? Overall, like in the bottom 20, like 20 between 20 and blitzes. Whereas we just went against Minnesota.
We're below that.
We're 56%.
Last time I checked, we were 27th.
That's what I thought.
27th last time I checked.
But the attacking Tampa 2, remember that comes from Warren Sapp and them guys back there. John Lynch. That's that Tampa 2 that Lovey adopted and brought to us with our players. That's not the same cover 2 that Eberflus is running. It may have some semblances, but we don't have the pressure. We don't have the pressure.
And that's the thing. When you run that cover 2 scheme, your front 4 has to be dominant.
They gotta dominate.
They have to be dominant. So when you look at that, even when I played with the Bears, man, the Tommy Harris, Wale Agunlie, the Tank Johnson,
AB,
Israel Agangie, the Alex Browns, them guys was dominant. They were super dominant.
Man, y'all, point of attack, go get them.
Right.
Adonis was crazy.
Israel was one of them guys. I don't know why we didn't. He was one of them guys.
Izzy was a freak of nature.
Yeah, that's a big man.
Yeah,
he was drafted as an offensive lineman too, or he was signed as an offensive lineman. I could be wrong.
Izzy was running down on kickoff.
Yeah.
So he was a different lineman and knocking people all the way out. He probably was the reason they got rid of that wedge. He was knocking you out in that wedge. Izzy was a different animal.
Yeah, they changed the kickoff rules because of Izzy and Devin Hester. You know, like they were doing too good. Gentlemen, I have to bail because I have to get my mother from the airport. So I was just shout out Brandon real quick.
We're gonna start wrapping it up.
We're probably gonna start wrapping up anyway, but
yeah, easy. You have a good
shout out. Thank you, Brandon, for joining us. You know, you're always welcome. You know,
yeah, no problem, man. Appreciate you guys for having me, man.
Hey, Brandon, before we let you go, I wanted to go through some stuff with you really quick. Since you are still out here in Chicago, you take care, easy. Since you are still out here in Chicago, we want to ask, like, what's your favorite places around here to eat? We always like to ask your number one choice for fried chicken.
Man, I'm in Mundelein, but it's a place in Mundelein called Emails.
Even if you were like when you were with the Bears and everything too, like even back then too, like city type chicken if you wanted.
Man, I'm from Jersey, man. I ended up one time was when I first had Harold's.
Yes.
There it is.
I was dealing with a young lady, and she's like, "You gotta go to Harold's. You gotta go to Harold's."
I'm a suburban.
The chicken, and it was okay to me. It wasn't.
It's okay. Okay.
It wasn't. You know.
It ain't mama's, but you know.
Yeah. But it's a restaurant out here, I just started eating this chicken. But what is it? Broster chicken or Broster's chicken. It's not as well as fried, but it's like oil pressure chicken. You don't get no oil and it's still crispy. But I just had it a few weeks ago, and that chicken was phenomenal. And I get it from Meals. I done had it. The first time I had it was probably not this past Monday. Actually, last Wednesday I had it, and I've been back maybe 2 or 3 times to go get that chicken already.
That's good.
But yeah, other than that, I don't. And out here in the suburbs, man, I don't go nowhere to get no fried chicken. There ain't no fried chicken popping out here like that in the suburbs.
No, it's the same out here in my suburbs. I mean,
Lorenzo said it's called broasted chicken.
Yeah, that's what it is, broasted chicken. That chicken fire. But I get it from this place called Emails in Mundelein.
Nice.
Yeah, I ain't got shit out here. I got KFC.
Here you go with
that. Popeye's chicken and shit.
Yeah, I ain't going to KFC.
Brandon, I wanted to ask you, tell the audiences what you got going on currently and where we can find you, where we can correspond with you.
Man, I'm a low-key guy, man. Take care of my family. I got my kids and shit. So I work at a place called Holistic. I'm a logistics broker now. So
I'm in logistics too, man. It's a shitty world.
Majority of my time I work from home. I work on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays from home. Tuesdays and Wednesdays I go in the office, but that's it. And once I finish working nowadays, and this is why, because when I forgot that I had to do the podcast today, because me and my son, like I said, the junior that's at Carmel, once I get home from work, we go to the gym. You know, I'm trying to get him right and get him,
for sure,
get him bigger, faster, and stronger. You know, so he can obviously get out on the field and be able to dominate and do the things that he need to do out on the football field. So that's my time, man. And for me, it's just, my family, man, especially my boys. They're young and they're into what I love. So I'm trying to give everything that I could give to them, especially, with my mindset as well of understanding the game, understanding, how to read things.
Right.
So that's me in a nutshell, man. I'm a simple, low-key individual, bro.
That's good. Family man. You can never complain about that.
I don't do social media. I don't do any of that. If you need me, you can call me on the phone. Look, I'm always Scooby Doo, man. You can text me or just call me. That's all.
I prefer it that way because that's
honestly, I'm only on social media because of this show. It's the only reason why I'm on social media too. So
kid, that's social media like crack was in the 80s, man. I don't know what's going on.
No, social media is the freaking devil. All right, Brandon. Well, man, it was great talking to you, man. We'll definitely. I know Terrence got your number. We'll definitely have to get you back on again.
Yep. Appreciate you guys for having me. It was. I enjoyed my time.
Talk to you soon, please.
All right, yep.
All right, fellas. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You as well. Take care, Brandon.
Hey, Frank, hey, man, like I love when we have down-to-earth folks.
Absolutely, man. I don't want none of those bullshit guests, man. Those people who come on and are just like how you said, down-to-earth, speaking the truth, talking from the heart, man, that's the way to freaking go right there. All right, let's get into some shout outs, man. What are you're gonna start us off? It's just you and me.
I was gonna ask what happened to T.
No, T did tell me he was just gonna be on for the beginning to do the introductions while we did all the shares and everything, and then he was gonna head out to the beach, get some sand in his ass.
He in California again?
He's in California again, dude. Just decided to get the hell out of here and went to California for a week. I wish I could just do that shit. I wish I can do that shit. Roll my ass up and get.
Lorenzo, be a dad, best thing in the world. Hey, Lorenzo, I love your father. I love it. It's like one of the best joys I've ever had in life, and I just, if I know I did one thing right in this world, it's my two sons. Guaranteed.
Perfect.
Love it. And Frank, you being a parent as well, a father as well, I know you love everything that you're doing.
Absolutely. Got my. So I'll do a quick little shout out because you got the long shout out. So I'll start it off.
Be able to get like that shout out.
I know, right? That was a big one right there. But I am going to give one shout out to my 7-year-old son, who actually his jiu-jitsu coach is now inviting him to actually compete in a jiu-jitsu competition for the first time. So 7 years old, he is sparring against 10-year-old kids and beating them. So he says it's time we're going to get him into a actual ring and actually do a competition. So huge shout out to him, and even shout out another one for him. His basketball team unfortunately just lost their first basketball game. Started off the season 4-0, but my son's the defensive juggernaut, just takes people in the chest and bumps them off when they're trying to get past them. Gotta love that.
Oh, you took a little hockey and told him to apply that to basketball.
He does want to skate too right now, probably because he wants to hit people. Because
little Frank, I ain't mad at him. I'm not mad at him.
No, absolutely not. He does not want to play flag football anymore because he's not as fast as some of those other kids. Because flag football, you do really have to.
But real football, you hit somebody, you can.
But that's the thing. He actually wants to go off for real football, and he wants to be a linebacker. So it's like, all right, I'm cool with that, man. Just light people up. It's all good. Practice. You can't put. I told him, I was like, you can't cross train jiu-jitsu with football though. You can't be putting people in arm holds and rear naked chokes in football. You know, you gotta keep those going. But other than that, I don't got too much shout outs. Other than that, nothing else. Go for it. Other than the great guests that we had, the normal stuff that we always deal, is a great show, 3-hour long show. God damn, dude.
I would love to see if we can get Brandon on a more consistent basis. Just his insight, his willingness to just be transparent with us, and like the knowledge and like be honest with you, man. Like he is the testament to follow your dreams and don't give up. Maine, and I forgot to ask him this, but I was wondering, was Maine the old Division I AA? Because Maine wasn't one of them.
I loved how he did bring up Maine was all about hockey, because that is 100% true. They offered me a scholarship.
You served me, I say in the Frozen Four, because I remember that.
Yeah, they offered me a scholarship to go play there. They were one of my top 5 that I had to choose from.
I'm one of the few people that has stumped the swab on the TV show, the old TV show. Like I know this, and that's why I said I think that was. But just to have him in that story, show up, come, make plays, make impactful plays, leave his mark here. Man, shout out to B. McGowan, man. Like that, just number 3-6. Like we remember 3-6, man. Like, oh, he stopped the bus. Like I remember that as a kid. Like, man, what's going on?
He stopped a lot of people, but that biggest achievement definitely was stopping that bus.
Love it. So I'm gonna try, Frank. I might just
do your top 10 again for sure.
I might just have to do top 10.
Yeah, do your top 10 again because this chat was lit right from the beginning, man.
Right. Look, I was late and I jumped in, and then okay, you count the 10 off. Obviously not including moms, but Crazy Ace was on it from top to bottom. He was just jumping in. Bullets, that's 7. Give me my countdown.
I'm giving it 2.
That's 2 because Bullets had said a lot of things. Dr. Truth was on it.
He's been on it for a while now. Love it.
Dr. Truth. I like when Dr. Truth comes in. I would love it next fan appreciation.
Yeah, he should have.
I would love.
You haven't seen a face with Dr. Truth left. Love to get him on.
That's 3. Random shout out, Don Bird. It's Lions Week. What's up?
Yeah, why you being a bitch? Come on, dude.
Well, no, Don Bird's in the service, right? Like he might be deployed.
No, that's not Don Berg, is it?
Yeah, I thought Don Bird was in the service.
No, that was Crazy and
no, we know Crazy
and Frog. Chris Frog was in the service.
But I thought Don Bird was too.
I didn't hear Don Bird was. I might miss it, and I apologize. And if you are, I thank you for that for sure.
Could be. I would definitely say, what's that? Did I say Jeremy already?
You didn't say Jeremy.
Okay, Jeremy. That's 3, 4.
That's 4.
4. We have a new one. Paul Gores at 821. What do you guys think about Jim Harbaugh as our coach? I've been hearing a lot of talk on this situation on social media. Paul, we've given sorry we didn't get to that at 821. A lot of us here, some of us want Jim Harbaugh, some of us don't. We feel that would be a bridge to your next coach because of just how he is. But we can get into that a little bit later. Thank you for chiming in. Shout out to Crooked Commish, our fantasy football commissioner,
right.
Always jumping in and giving us great content and runs a hell of a league for fantasy football. A league with like 31 people in it? 32 people?
32.
Like,
32. So if you have one injury, you're screwed. I just made the playoffs and I just lost my running back, so I'm screwed.
Look, that would be me because I don't even know what I did anymore.
I beat you last week. Thank you for not. You're pretty much your entire team was on a bye week.
Look, I didn't even know we played.
You had Patrick Mahomes. That was it. That's the only guy you had played.
There was too much going on. I had to stop. What am I at? 5?
You're 5.
Let's see. Hey, our own Christopher Edgerson. Got to give him Manuel Valverde. He checking in. Got to give it to him. And thank you, Manuel. Manuel switched from Facebook to YouTube.
Thank you.
To like and subscribe on YouTube to the CHGO Clubhouse Podcast. Eventually, we will be moving all content from Facebook to YouTube, Twitter. No, it ain't called Twitter no more. X, which I still feel weird about because
I still call it Twitter.
Tweet.
That X still looks like a pornographic thing that pops up.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling so good. Samuel Blackwell, thank you for checking in. We appreciate the love. And I think we winding down. How many I got left? Oh, Lorenzo Clemens, our resident Big Ten referee. Gotta give Lo Clem some love.
You're at 9 right
all
now.
the way from New Orleans.
One more. Yeah, 9.
Okay, so I got to give it to Keith Sperry because Keith Sperry was on fire with a lot of content, doing everything we need to. So that's the top 10. I don't think I actually missed anybody with the top 10. Still scrolling. Thank you all for chiming in. We know we have anybody in the chat that did not speak up. You are officially a lurker, but on this
L for love. Good times.
Always good times.
Love. Good times.
I'm going to give a bonus one to our guy, Trey Shy, one of our P1s. He came on late. So that's 11. That's a bonus one. And then
use bonuses.
Round out everything. Always shout out to one of our back producers and supporters, T. Nick. Got to shout out him. Owner, operator, what do you call it? The quarterback, the point guard, the GM.
T. Nick he needs to get on quicker. Quicker.
Oh, you almost had it. You got to be quicker than that.
Got to be quicker than that, T. Nick. Hey, But shout out to that brother, because without this, he wouldn't have brought any of us. Love his vision, love what he had going on. Shout out to SB as always. Shout out to the #1 podcast mom on any podcast. Ain't nobody's mom doing what my mom does. Not Dion's mom. Not
11-11, and that mom is still out here listening. Gotta love her.
My mom, she owned that, y'all. So shout out to Miss Sandra, as she's most affectionately known to the crew.
She's also gonna get the L for love.
L for love. Good times.
L for love.
It's all love on that one. All love.
Keisha, are you with me? Are you right? No, I ain't gonna do that. That's all we got. So for Frank the Tank, JB, Easy Catch Easy does it randomly, either on Wednesday or Friday. T-Nick, our brother Foulmouth, who's down but not out. We still repping Foul. Love you, boy. That's all we got.
I mean, we don't got anything else?
Well,
no.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.
bye, Canada.
Hey, oh, Canada.